Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. And tonight, we welcome back a friend who needs no introduction, but god damn it, we're gonna give him one. Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I am the Dude79, and welcome me.
You invite me back on this show. You know, it's cool. Yeah, thanks, guys. You, Tone, are dressed for the occasion. You look great. Rocking my shirt. Flex Division champion. Underneath this is all mocha skin manimal, all twisted steel and sex appeal. And then I look at you, wearing that disgusting, big caveman bearded Jake something t-shirt. What is this, huh? Just blatant disrespect?
No,
Why don't you here's my coffee. Why don't I unscrew this, you just spit in it, and I'll drink out of it. How about that, huh? Because that's what it is. This is your boy.
I've never met him before.
Jeez.
First time I've been here.
Thanks, man. Cool. You couldn't have just matched Impact Wrestling, that's where I wrestle. Rohit Raju, and you wear Jake something?
I made
cool,
you
man. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. It was great. It's cool.
Welcome back, Mr. Rohit Raju, Impact Wrestling superstar and future two-time Flex Division champion. The Mad Dragon, the Mocha Skin Manimal. And what'd your mom call you?
She called me son.
Because why?
I shine like one.
Yeah, damn right.
That's right.
Welcome back, Rohit. Nice to have you back. And always joining me, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Tone, what's going on, dude? Just
same old. I'm just excited to be here. I usually before the show we talk about the show, we get amped about the show, we go through the topics. And for the last 2 hours, we've just been shitting here, all just shitting and chilling.
Shitting
shit.
Tone's been drinking a lot.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, man, we've been just sitting here chit-chatting with our boy, and we got an awesome show tonight. We have a lot of kick-ass shit to talk about. We've got GodzillaVsKong, Invincible, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Mighty Ducks, Monster Hunter Rise, It Takes Two, a lot of good stuff to talk about. But before we get on that, Rohit, what have you been up to, man? It's been a while since you've been on the show. What's good with you?
Always hustling, always trying to find some work to do. Impact's running once a month, so that's great for me.
Right.
Some indie shows have finally opened up. I'll be in Chicago this weekend at AAW. We'll actually be taping multiple shows, which will be pretty sweet. I have a big matchup with Myron Reed, defending my Heritage title against him. Myron's a great talent, wrestles for MLW, really great wrestler, great worker. Going down to Florida next week, Tampa. There's several shows running for WrestleMania weekend. No, I'm not at WrestleMania. Obviously, I wrestle for Impact, but I'll be doing some small shows down there, which is going to be awesome. I don't know what the crowd size is going to be, but I'm excited just to be able to wrestle in front of people again. And then, of course, every Wednesday in Bay City, 300 North Winona. I have been training people, Dragon's Lair Pro Wrestling Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That's up and running. Got a good chunk of students, and I can't wait to see that grow. And, of course, I'm in the gym every single day getting jacked out of my mind. If you go to my Instagram, you look at my stories or Twitter, I'm looking sweet right now. Looking sweet, guys. I'm looking sweet. So you got to cover it up. You know what I mean? I got to keep it PG on old Twitch here, but I'm looking sweet.
That's awesome, man. How is the academy going, man? How's everything going there?
Really good. I have some really great students. I love to see people grow. I love to see, the first time they try and take a bump, it's scary. That's when, you get slammed or something like that. The first time they hit the ropes, those ropes, they hurt. It's just like cable wrapped with hose and tape and stuff like that. So you start to see the first time they hit them, they wince in pain, or they're scared to, take your bump, scared to take a body slam, stuff like that. And then next thing you know, they're cooking, they're going, they're picking things up, and I love to see people improving. And I love the fact that I get to help people follow their dreams. It's amazing because I know when I was wrestling or first started and hustling along, and things start to come together. There's no better feeling than that.
No, that's awesome, man. I know you've been talking about doing that for a while, and it's something that you're very passionate about. And the fact that you like to help up and coming, wrestlers, people that want to get into it and learn everything there is to know, and you take pride in passing that knowledge on to them. I mean, that's really, really awesome.
That's a big thing with that. Within that industry, I'm guessing too, is having people like yourself who are able and willing to do that and pass that knowledge down.
Yeah, I love it, man. So if you anybody out there, you're thinking about becoming a pro wrestler, you come see me in Bay City, Michigan, Dragon's Lair Pro Wrestling Academy. Just hit me up on the old Instagram.
Tricky says, what's the age range for that?
Dude, I'm older than dirt. I started when I was 28. There is no age range. As long as you got to be at least, I think it's 17 or 18 to get started. Other than that, that's it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Men and women, welcome. You know what I mean? I want to get some ladies in there, get that going. Female wrestling's blowing up real well right now. So many great talents out there, and I want to have my hand in training some of the great talented female wrestlers out there as well. So ladies, if you're interested, come see me. We'll get working on your craft.
Awesome. There you go. You heard it from the man. Tone, what's good with you, dude? I mean, honestly, what have you been up to? How's work going? Any threats this week? What's the threat counter at?
No threat this week. I'm good this week.
Damn it.
We're clear this week. Just the normal, just busy. Honestly, there's not a lot to mention. We dabbled with Resin Mancers last week. We're still every step forward, every day, every week. So, like I said, more to come soon with that. But really just trying to, this last week we've had a lot of media to cover, trying to wedge in all the media and still find time to play a game, which has been difficult, but I'm finally back on Bravely Default a little bit and had my first rage session. Bravely Default 2 last night. Caught up to a boss battle with a bard, and that was not going well.
There's a couple of people I follow on Twitter who said that a lot of the end battles in that game are incredibly difficult. Like the difficulty spike is through the roof.
If this is a taste of like your third major boss in the game, if this is a taste of what it's going to be like throughout the whole game or end game, they really want you to grind for a while in between like towns and like story
build up your characters. You
just got to, I think, at this point. So right now I'm just focusing on my job classes and that, so that's like big in my life right now. Bravely Default 2 job classes.
Nice.
And I did, like I told you earlier, beat the Kate Bishop part in Marvel's Avengers, so I'm kind of on that. That's kind of it's hooking me again.
Right. Kate Bishop plays really good, but I think you're gonna really like Hawkeye as well. If you like Kate Bishop's playstyle, you're gonna dig Hawkeye's as well. It's very similar, but there's just enough differences between the two where you're like, okay, this is worth grinding out the skill tree and building Clint a certain way as opposed to Kate.
And I find she's harder to play compared to some of the other characters. Just generally, like, it's nice having the ranged, but she's squishy, man. Like I drop a lot. I'm used to playing fucking Hulk, and then one of the gamma triggers you can do just like regens your health, and the more you beat on shit, the more energy you get back. So it's like I'm used to never having to look for health typically. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to play her, but I don't know. There's something about the game. Even from the first time we played it, I always had a lot of high hope for it. So
it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It plays great, and like I said, what we talked about last week, the PS5 update. I mean, the biggest concern we have with it was the load times. You can get through stuff so much faster. Because like with the load times in the previous version, you're just like, fuck. Takes forever to run just like 2 or 3 missions.
You go make a sandwich and take a shit and come back. It's still fucking loading.
PS5, what's that?
It's that mythical beast that people think that they have.
I hear it exists, but I've never seen it on the shelf.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Tone, did you have something that you wanted to present?
Yes, I did actually. So, I actually almost forgot about that.
Put you on the spot.
You did. So I've got something here for you.
Oh Lord.
No, I didn't. I know. No, I watched it first, but
I hope you bleached it.
I don't think you've gotten this yet.
Oh,
think you might know what that might be? Have you gotten
it
yet?
I have no clue what this is.
You don't?
No, it's a figure.
It's a figure.
But I don't know what it is.
And I know you had to order the other one.
Oh, I don't have that one with the child with Grogu. No.
Target exclusive.
Oh, wait, does the mask come off too?
I don't know.
I see his mat. Like I see his face
It
down
might-
there.
Yeah, I think the helmet might come off on that one. I don't know.
Dude, thank you so much. That's awesome.
So thanks
He's
to
even at the fob and the. Oh, dude.
yeah, dude. That's the deluxe one. That's been a hard one to find.
Dude, yes.
But I bought mine online for double the price of its value, and then a buddy of mine said, "Oh, I found it at Target. You want one?" I'm like, "God damn it, give me one."
Oh,
So there
dude, thank
go.
you so much.
I know you wanted that
This
one as
is
well
cool.
too. So
Ah, this is so cool.
gotta look up
This is so awesome. I can't open this one then. I kind of want to because Grogu's in it, but
Well, I don't know. I'll take it upstairs to my kids. And
No.
they'll take it all.
Yeah.
ah, that's so
Smack it out of
cool.
their hands. Yeah, somebody's like already opening it.
Yeah, Cap, open it up.
Yeah,
So,
I probably will. Yeah, this is sweet. Thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, no
That's
problem.
amazing, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Ah,
No,
that's
I
so
know you
cool.
had to have it. I know. Like I said,
yes.
you had to search for the one. You're like, oh, I'll find the other one someday. I'm like, you wait someday for this one. It's gonna be a lot of someday and a lot of money. So
Dude, thank you so much.
yeah, no
That's
problem,
a 10.
man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, well, I'm gonna go. So
Yeah, it was nice seeing everybody. Have a good
I
night.
have toys to play with.
Yeah, I
so-
got toys to play with. No, that's awesome.
That
Good
is
stuff.
awesome. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah,
That's
no,
so cool.
Tone,
yeah.
what are we drinking tonight? We seem to have a
We got quite a
Variety pack.
variety tonight. So we're drinking right now. Thanks to Half-Ass Beer Review out there. If you guys have not checked them out on
Cooter
YouTube-
WK. Oh, sorry.
Cooter WK. Have I told you the first time that he delivered to the house, like during coronavirus? And I was sitting- 'cause I knew he worked for UPS, and I'm sitting there, and we were doing a lot of ordering online, like everybody was, and all of a sudden he walks up, and I'm in the house, and the wife's outside. I'm like, Cooter WK, and he just gets this look on his face, and he's like, "Who is?" He looks at my wife and goes, "Who's that?" Like. And I walk over there. He's like, "Oh shit!" It was pretty fucking funny.
I
It was amazing.
remember when he delivered to me, I was like, what the heck? Dude,
Yeah,
it was so cool to
yeah.
see him.
Best pedigree in the bit there. Exactly. But he gave us some more beers tonight, so we appreciate him. This is Artisan Ales, the Prairie Slush. This is really delicious. My only complaint with it was that it was not enough fruity. It's definitely very sour.
very
and tart.
sour, but like
I
the fruit
don't
they
get-
talk. I mean, on the back it says
They
like
don't exist in this.
strawberry, raspberry, lemon, lime. I mean, I guess a lime.
Maybe that's what I said too.
Yeah.
The lime's all I can really
I think
taste.
the lime is very pronounced, but everything else is kind of
Yeah.
like subtle in there.
Then we got the double chocolate fudge brownie stout
Yeah.
from Untitled Art, and it's
Wow.
12% almost 12% right there. So
Yeah, this is gonna be the closer.
yeah, yeah. And then I got a little one I've been wanting to try that I picked up for us as well too tonight. So we got quite of a range. This is the Brimley stout, the oatmeal stout.
Let me see the cover.
It's-
Oh my god.
it's him.
Out of Beard's
It
Brewery here
is.
in Michigan as well too. Diabetes.
It looks like somebody off of Death Clock for a hot second.
It does look like somebody off Death Clock. That's pretty funny. It's funny. He was great in John Carpenter's The Thing of 1982.
There's also
Oh
Cocoon.
man.
He's
Yeah,
in
Cocoon,
which is
which
good.
is the first
Yes.
time I really remember recalling him, because in The Thing he didn't have the mustache,
Right.
but in
Right.
Cocoon he looked like he did for 40 years.
Yeah.
One of my favorite roles of his though is in The Natural with Robert Redford. He's Pops Fisher, the manager of the club.
Holy shit, yeah.
He manages the
Yeah.
team. He's really good in that
Yeah.
movie too. So
Classic.
big fan of Wilford Brimley. Before we get into the next topic, Tone, or the first topic, Tone, I know one thing we wanted to talk about. We mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
The fundraiser and the giveaway is still going. If you have some time,
That's
explain
awesome.
what's going on, man.
Yep. We are, as a group here, the Entertainment Geekly. We've got that Shock Blue controller for Xbox we're giving away. He's going to type that there for you. If you guys get a chance, pop into that, follow the instructions. I think it's just like joining maybe some Discords, doing the follows, the usual player.gg stuff as well too. And then shortly here, he'll get that ready for you as well too. The actual link, if you just want to donate to the actual cancer fund itself as well too. And thanks to the rest of the team for letting us be involved with Cure Cancer on that one. We really appreciate that. And I'm trying to find our code. Do you remember our code?
Geekly Banter.
Geekly Banter. It is capital GEEKLY. Did I spell it right? And then BANTARTER. Yeah, I'm not the guy for that part.
He doesn't
but-
handle the promos.
Yeah. That is our secret code. If you could type that in the chat, Geekly Banter. Cuddles, please capitalize both Geekly and Banter in one word. That is our secret code that you can get an extra entry in as well too. So
Yes, sir.
we're really excited about that, and we'll keep you updated on how that's going. And I think that ends
April 8th.
April 8th.
Yes.
Right. So we got that right this time, because I definitely didn't the last time.
That's
No,
really
I was
cool.
on the botched stuff.
Was
You
that you?
saved me. Yeah.
Oh, you said it out loud.
Yep, I did. I said it out loud. I was the one that screwed it up. But yeah, really excited about that. Controller is freaking beautiful. Sonic blue. Looks pretty hot.
Yeah,
So
really into
big fan of the controller.
Yep.
All right. Before we hop into that, our first
Yeah,
topic.
one word, Cuddles. Yep.
The one game I wanted to talk about briefly. I know these guys haven't played it, so I don't want to hang on to it too long. But is Monster Hunter Rise. Prior to this one, I have a little bit of experience with Monster Hunter. I played a little bit of Monster Hunter World, and I played Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS. I believe they had a 3DS Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Yes.
Played a little bit on there, but Monster Hunter has always been one of those games where I just get frustrated so easily. I don't want to say it's like Dark Souls difficult, but the combat is very nuanced. It's very particular. You have to commit to your moves.
Yeah.
Again, like all these games, my biggest weakness is I fucking button mash in a lot of these games. And in a game like Monster Hunter, when you button mash, you leave yourself exposed for so many knockout hits from the monsters. You really have to take your time to learn their moves. And that's what's wild about this game. I mean, you saw a couple videos of some of these monsters. Their moves are absolutely ridiculous.
Once they're in animation, you can't F it up.
You really can't. I mean, there was one that was literally breakdancing on its head around the map, like spinning everywhere. And I'm like, how the fuck do I even defend this? What do I even do? Like, where is my window to attack? But I've managed to get to about 28 hours played now. Really digging it. I'm starting to get a better understanding of the longsword, which is a very difficult, well, not very difficult, but there are certain methods with it, with countering,
Right.
that require a lot of patience and requires you to learn the monsters. And I really want to get into that. I really dig that aspect of it, is, again, learning the monsters, the strategy, knowing when to go in for the heavy strikes, when to just make your move, when to avoid. It's been a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I was really expecting it to be. Do you guys have any experience with Monster Hunter?
No, I didn't play the Monster Hunter games. I wanted to get in. Which one? There was one that came out, I think it was for PlayStation
Monster Hunter World
4, and everyone was like, hey, we are going to get on this.
Yep.
And then I think something else came out, and I was like, zip, and never went to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I think still play that too.
Oh, Monster Hunter World is still pretty hot.
Are you
It's
a
still
fan of
pretty
the
hot.
movie?
I actually refuse to see
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Smart guy.
I love Mila Jovovich, but man, she can pick some real trash movies.
Like all the Resident Evils.
Like all the Resident Evils. I heard, I didn't know. I think you guys saw what's the one that Ron Perlman was in, but then they did a remake with David Harbour?
Hellboy.
No, I didn't see that one, but I think you guys.
I like that Hellboy.
You liked it?
I was.
I didn't watch that one. I liked.
You weren't in the theater for that?
No, I like the original ones with Ron Perlman,
Yes.
and I just didn't.
Oh,
I was
crap.
like, you know what I mean? I'm sure I'll watch it at some point in time, but it was one I wasn't seeking it.
I liked it. She was fine in it.
Mhm.
She played the villain. It wasn't overly, she didn't have to like probably show up but a couple times on set. It wasn't, much of anything, but I don't know. Yeah, she was fine in that. Like
I feel like a Fifth Element just set the bar too high for her, and like nothing will come close to Fifth Element.
maybe she just likes making money.
She's
Yeah,
like
I bet
the-
you they pay her a good chunk. Hey,
Because I don't. She's not a bad actress.
Right.
And matter of fact, I'd say like she probably doesn't get enough love in the action field. Like her name doesn't come up as often.
Well, she
as
handles her
everybody
own
else.
in action films.
She can, but it's just that everything else sucks. She is not the female Nick Cage. Oh my god!
No, she's not a female
I
Nick
almost
Cage.
just fell out of my chair.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What?
That's a bizarre choice there, Dungeons. But no, I'm really digging this one. It's something that I've really enjoyed, and it's a lot more than I thought I would. I feel like I've gotten past that first block where you're like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm getting too pissed. I'm trying to stay calm, relax, and learn the monsters. And I feel like I've hit that first wall where I'm like, okay, I want to get into this even more.
Sure.
Like I haven't really gotten into the trapping stuff and using all the other gadgets. I'm just strictly focusing on combat. But it's a pretty fun game. And I tell you what, man, the game runs and looks great on the Switch. That's the one thing I was really
It
concerned
looks
about.
Really good on the Switch.
Really concerned about that
Yes.
coming out. I was like, man, this thing is going to fucking chug on this system. There's no way this thing is smooth. It's very smooth. And, we're getting more spoiled with 60 frames per second on the new consoles. But, when I played Destiny 2 before it made the jump to next gen, that was a great playing first-person shooter that only ran at 30 frames. So, I mean, it is possible to make a really good game at 30 frames. And to have something run so smoothly on the Switch of this scale, I mean, it's huge. These monsters are huge, and there's a lot going on screen. It runs really fucking good on the Switch.
Awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
really
It
impressed
looks like
with
it.
that.
It looks like it too.
Yep, yeah, and how it says, it's very optimized. It's very, very optimized, and it runs great. And the surprising thing, that game loads quick. I really wasn't, because like Monster Hunter World had some really long load times, even on the PS4 and like the Xbox One, they were really long load times. You are snapping in and out of like the zone you're going into, back to the hub, bouncing around. There is like little to no loading in this game. It's really impressive on the Switch.
I wonder
Really
if that
wild.
has something to do with their background with Monster Hunter consistently being like on less, like handhelds, like systems that don't really have to push limits compared to like a home console would, right? I wonder if that's just because they've optimized their stuff so well to be on a system like the Switch where, while it runs really well compared to maybe a Wii or something like that, it's still not the PS4 or Xbox One. You know, it would be more like a 3DS. So I wonder if that has something to do with that.
That, and they're using the RE engine for the first time for this game. I mean,
which is pretty dope.
Which is really good because the RE engine has shown that it's very capable of running a lot of games very smoothly and easy to optimize. Apparently, because this game runs fucking awesome.
And I honestly don't believe that Capcom gets enough attention. They're never in the talks with Unreal or Frostbite. Capcom's engines over the years, even like Devil May Cry 4 on 360, their engines have consistently looked good. They've run like Street Fighters, all these other games, even like Resident Evil 4s and 5s. Like these games have always looked really good and ran really well, but they never seem to be in that conversation.
It's because they always prefer that animated style, which I think is probably a little bit easier to run,
right?
Instead of like something very real, hyper realistic or something like that. Like you look at like a Gears of War where everything's kind of tries to be very
slow and plotting and stuff, where it's a little bit more, I don't want to say loose, but just more fast paced in some of these games.
Yeah, so. But like even like Street Fighter usually runs great on almost any system you put it on. And it's probably just because of the way they like the style of graphics that they do probably helps out with that too.
Yeah, it's not too like heavy on the system resources and whatnot. So are you a Resident Evil guy?
No, I used to be back in the day. I loved was it 4? The 4 really changed it.
One?
I don't dislike them at all. I just never get into them.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, but I respect them. I know they're good, and I definitely respect them. I love to see them succeed. I know that.
Yeah, I was actually a fan of 5. I know there were some people that's where they kind of went to the more action route. I actually never played 6.
That was the co-op one, right? When they went
to
Africa.
5 had the co-op.
Yeah.
I never hopped into 6, but I did play 7. 7 is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I heard 7 was scary as hell.
7 is really, really good. So I'm like really excited for 8 coming out. Man, a month and a half, or no, like a month. I think it's May 7th.
I haven't decided if I'm playing it yet. I can't.
Really? Man, I'm all over that shit.
I'm so more worried about Returnal right now.
That's right. Returnal comes out a week before that.
There's something about that. I can't.
They have a state of play on the PlayStation channel right now. More gameplay from that game.
Damn.
Looks pretty hype. Looks really, really good. We'll definitely be talking about that when it comes out. All right. Moving on to our first topic. We're sticking with video games. And Tone, this is a game that you and I played and streamed on Sunday.
Yeah.
Couch co-op. We did Couch Buddy stream.
Yeah, all right.
First time in a long time.
Tone came over here and we played It Takes Two. And I'm going to tell you right now, Hazelight Games, Joseph Ferris, they're onto something with co-op, dude. They're taking, when you think of co-op, you think of like Borderlands, you think of all these games that you can just jump into with friends, Monster Hunter, hop in and play. But there's only been a few games that really takes co-op and says, look, you need to have this person here. You can play Borderlands alone. You can play Monster Hunter alone. You can't play this game unless it's co-op. So it's built that way with co-op in mind. I have to go here. You have to do this. I depend on the person I play with. And this game is so good with all the different really mechanics that we're doing to get through these levels.
It's listen, I know we're probably only about halfway through it. Maybe not even that.
Not even that.
It's pretty fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Smart, like super smart. Like, first of all, I think that, I don't know, maybe it's because we've played games together for a while now. I felt like we, for the most part, jokes aside,
there were some bits, yeah.
Yeah, but we worked really well. I mean, I think we kind of fell into like, okay, we kind of figure out how this works, fast. But it was still, even though with that, we were still getting these moments of like excitement, exhilaration for just in awe on how smart this game was built.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you think about all the games that you play, whether it's a story mode or you're doing something by yourself or whatever it is. It's really sometimes, I think, hard now because we've played a lot of things. There's not a lot of stuff that's going to overly surprise us. You might be surprised from like a fun level, but like on something like this where you're just you're almost like not expecting it, but you should be. This really came quite full circle. Like the 2 hours went by fast. I was having a great time playing this game.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if you've seen this game yet in motion.
I've seen bits and pieces. I think it was on. It was on something. I was like, oh, It Takes Two, and it instantly reminded me of like Unravel or something like that.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's very much like a platformer, and there's puzzle elements to it. And again, like the fact that It runs in split screen co-op when you're playing couch co-op, and it still runs at 60 frames. And these level design, it's almost like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're shrunk down to these dolls, and you're making your way through your backyard, through trees and stuff.
Man,
and
that's
it's
pretty
such a good, it's a good story. But again, you go back to just how dependent you are on one another, and it's a great game. And we were talking about it on the show. It's from EA. It's like there's an EA Indie Studio or whatever, their publishing unit. And what's awesome about It Takes Two is if you buy the game, like say if I buy the game, I can send you an invite at home on your PS5, and you can download the client and play with me. You don't have to pay for it.
That's cool.
Because it's dependent on co-op. You have to have somebody play with you. So you can bring in any friend to play the game if you buy it.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And I mean, you can do it online or you can do couch co-op.
Yeah.
And it was just a really, really fun stream. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. It was a lot of fun. There was laughs, but some of the puzzles were kind of challenging. It took us a while to figure out a few of these things. Like, you really have to think. But I think this is like a really good game, especially if you're at home, playing at home. You got a family member or your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, kids, and you want to play this game with somebody. It is a phenomenal couch co-op game.
It's honestly like you say, like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like kind of fits in totally spot on at that, of course. It's almost like we made a comment about it too. It's like Ratchet and Clank if it was 2-player.
Right? Oh yeah, boom. That's accurate. That's accurate.
It's
those are great games.
Yeah.
Which made me excited when we were playing. We're like, this makes me really excited for Ratchet and Clank this year too. Like shit, because the rail stuff was just like, you're like, oh, that's what you said at first, like, oh, it's like Ratchet and Clank right now. I'm like, yeah. So.
And Ratchet and Clank, by the way, the 2016 game just got an update this week from Insomniac. They made it 60 frames.
Really?
Dude, that takes that game with that animation and just takes it to the next level. You're just like, geez, oh man, this is like, I wish this would have been like this when it launched. Because obviously, when you go from 30 to 60 frames, you can tell right away. Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
We were playing that on PS4. It was 30 frames. You go to PS5 and it's up to 60. And you're just like, dude, it just, especially in a world as dynamic as like Ghost of Tsushima or Ratchet and Clank, where it's the worlds are so vibrant and there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
That added animation, that fluid animation, it just, man, you're just like, I just want to play this game again, dude. Like, I really do. I want to hop back in and actually play through that because it runs so good now. It runs so good. So It Takes Two is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, Xbox Series X and S, and it's also on PC. It is cross-play between consoles in terms of like the family of consoles, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and so on. So if you have somebody on another system that wants to play in the same ecosystem, you can do that as well. Again, I think it's like, what, $39.99? Is that what we paid for?
It's like $40, yeah.
$40, yeah. $39.99 for the game. And again, you can invite any friend to come in and play with you, and they just download the client and they can play with you.
That's
so
cool.
Really, really, really good game. Really enjoyed it. Check it out on our YouTube channel. All right, guys. We had a couple trailers drop this week. Now, I know this first trailer you guys are really excited about, but we're going to watch it right now. This is was just announced, or just shown the other day, Star Wars, The Bad Batch. And now I am not familiar. I don't watch a lot of the Clone Wars, so I'm going to be really curious to get you guys' thoughts on this trailer, because I believe the Bad Batch, they make a few appearances in the Clone Wars
at the last season of the Clone Wars.
Last season,
Yeah.
okay. Let's check out this trailer and get you guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah.
A test is in order. 5 enhanced clones, more capable than an army. Yet they exhibit a concerning level of disobedience in disregard for orders.
What else you got? Give me more!
Our squad's nothing but trouble. But we get the job done.
You're Clone Force 99.
You know who we are.
Hunter,
Let's go.
Echo,
Hyperdrive's online.
Tick,
Prepping to jump.
Wrecker,
Let's blow something up. Yeah!
and Crosshair.
Your move.
We're all you need.
I want Clone Force 99 found and wiped out.
The galaxy's a dangerous place to be.
We need to get out of here. What do you say, kid? You want to come with us?
How can I help?
The Clone Wars have ended. can either adapt and survive, or die with the past. The decision is yours.
We do what we do. Strap in, kid.
I'm excited for that. May 4th, too.
70 minutes is
Yes.
what they're saying for episode one.
Yeah. Really.
70 minutes for the first episode.
70 minutes
An hour and 10 minutes for the
for
first
episode one.
That's pretty
Get
wild.
out of here, dude.
I want to get you guys' thoughts. I mean, initial reaction to what you saw from that trailer.
Absolutely, I'm excited for. At first, I wasn't, but it just if it brings me more Clone Wars lore and story, and I didn't mind the Bad Batch guys at all. I do think if you pick out a lot of spots, a lot of things in that trailer, I think it's a girl, and I'm pretty sure that's a female clone.
Oh, really?
I think so because she's also wearing the same headpiece as one of the is it Lamasu? What's the clone maker's name?
Yeah, I think that's her name.
Yeah, that's my guess is that she's
Tom Wee.
Tom Wee, yeah, Tom Wee's here. Yeah, exactly. That's what
Lamasu was the director, right?
I think so. Yeah, so maybe it was Tom Wee.
Tom Wee's here.
Yeah, but I think that's what she's wearing, or I'm pretty sure that's a girl. I think I could be wrong, but that was my guess is that she's a female clone. Female.
Ooh,
Boba.
interesting. A female Boba.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to explain that.
Maybe not Boba, but female Django.
Okay.
Female
So,
Django.
I could be way off, but
Hey, that's the beauty of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this.
well, I still think maybe it's a Palpatine clone and Ray's father
Jesus.
for real.
We got Fenric back. That's Ming-Na Wen, as was in Mandalorian 2. Super. I love.
Huh?
Exactly. She is lovely, lovely lady. She was fantastic in Agents of Shields as May. But man, she's a big Star Wars fan, huge Star Wars fan. So it's really exciting that they're keeping her around, and that this is kind of tying into like the live action film, even though this is clearly in the past or whatever. She was quite younger there, but it's interesting to see how this is going to be. This is bridging post Clone Wars. We're getting into the pre Galactic Civil War, but
Empire
kind of
and
that whole Purge era.
Yep.
When you've got the Inquisitors around.
Yes.
You're purging Jedi, all that crazy stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this team is going to move forward. Are they going to maintain a puppeteer because they kind of do what they want, or are they going to be, which it's Star Wars, like is it going to be that okay, they're end up going to like middle finger to Tarkin and kind of do what they want?
Well, that's what I think, because I know this does take place. Order 66 does happen, and my guess is that since they're already like defects,
they probably
then
don't even have the chip in them.
Exactly, it doesn't affect them, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Tarkin wants them wiped out. And then I also think we'll probably start to see them start wiping out clones. Somebody will say, "Hey, these guys are obsolete. Let's start using real people as stormtroopers," or something. We'll probably get that explanation on why the clones were no more and stormtroopers became a thing, unless clone troopers became stormtroopers instead. You know what I mean? And then they just kind of faded them out after a while. But I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping we'll get that explanation. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm curious. How many episodes is this?
I don't know.
I don't know if they've mentioned that yet.
They mentioned episodes. Cuddles, can you see if they've mentioned episodes on Bad Batch, what they got planned? And there's Zach Dynamite, by the way, about you were asking about wearing the
I'll never wear
underwear.
pants, Zach, just to give you a heads up. As a matter of fact, I stopped wearing underwear under my trunks. I wear a man thong now, so you know what I mean? So usually
that's all he's wearing right now.
That's all I'm wearing. Like, they just impact hoodie and man thong. Ball bag is just almost hanging out. It's ridiculous. So just anaconda, you know what I mean?
Oh, my Lanta.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
We just made it worse than PG.
John Voight's showing up.
Manimal uses man thong only.
That's right.
That's true.
You can catch it on my OnlyFans. I do a lot of squats and bench presses.
The camera's at a low angle from
That's
the back.
right. That's right. You can't tell. Man, that chick has a really nice cam. Oh my God, it's Rohit Raju. Blah, blah.
Somebody's spraying mist. It's me. I'm over there spraying mist. It's all
Shine
sweaty.
them up a little bit.
Just really
Get that
low
glistening look.
squat, ass to grass.
Jesus.
Like I always say, you know those those half Christmas hams you buy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
They're like this big.
Spiral cuts.
I
maybe?
say they're like my cheeks are like two of those. That's what it looks like. Just two Christmas hams back there.
Oh,
I'm not going to deny nor confirm.
Can you spray a little mist on me? It's getting hot over here.
I know. We're warm.
So yeah, Zach, I'm never wearing pants. Don't ask me again.
Never wearing pants. Tone, was there anything that stood out to you in that trailer? Like anything little or Easter eggs that you were like, oh shit, what could that be, or anything?
Not. I mean, he brought up a really good, interesting point about that character. But other than that, no. I'm more speculative on where they're gonna go with the story. That's where all my line of thinking is going. Where I'm trying to like peg stuff on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That usually doesn't matter because it ends up being the opposite anyway. So it's all a waste of time. But yeah, I definitely I just want to see where they're going with this. I don't want that. I got a feeling, and I'll say it now. They're probably it's gonna be a Mass Effect 3. Everybody's gonna freak out. They're running into a brick wall. That's my guess.
I think it could be, and this is a good segue, by the way. I think it's Clone Wars.
Fuck here, you can fucking have the show.
I'm something of a TV producer myself. Picture
the Defoe from Spider-Man.
But
Classic.
I think it's probably they're gonna be it probably end with them as a Suicide Squad type thing. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, and that's what I thought.
That's good.
That's
good
what I
thought,
thought
too.
with the last season though, and that didn't happen. So
Right.
Were they pretty well received when they showed up in Clone Wars the final season, or was it kind of a mixed
I
bag?
was a big fan
I thought so.
instantly.
Yeah, I thought
I
it was
can't
cool.
remember like our Star Wars group, 70 Dungeons, Jay and some of us, Noel. I think we all seem to be pretty receptive to it. Like I enjoyed like they're campy for a reason. They're meant to be fashioned after 80s action.
80s action stars, yeah.
And I love that because it's fun. Like that's my era. That's where I grew up watching rated R flicks for a long time. So I'm into that. I'm a big fan of it. I thought it was pretty cool. What's weird now when you look back on it, you didn't realize they probably had this planned. That blip that they made him on the radar in that show was meant to be for a stepping stone for him.
That's not
Because it's
figured,
fucking
yeah.
Disney, man, and they're always on that. So maybe this will be a way to flesh them out, and people that weren't really feeling it are probably going to end up enjoying them anyways.
I mean, if you look at I don't want to say Filoni verse, but I think that's the ever since it was like Mando and then the Clone Wars, they've put in like, okay, here's Fennec Shan, here's Boba Fett, let's bring back Boba Fett, and then they kind of stepping stone into their own. Here's Ahsoka, she makes a guest appearance. Oh, now she has her own show,
right?
And I think everything is going to lead to. Everyone feels like it's going to lead to something with Thrawn, and like almost like a Heir to the Empire, but in a different telling type thing. Because you got to think it's like 30 years, 25 years before the sequel trilogy, so there's a lot of
and they want to stay away from that right now as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they'll thread into it,
regardless if you like it or not. I think they should, just because it was very divisive in a way. So
yeah,
and let that be its thing, and then. Your money is here. Obviously.
Focus on where, if you can, they're doing what they need to do. So
yeah.
So you guys think this could tie into Thrawn? The Bad Batch could.
I think it'll have hints, maybe.
Well, they mentioned we heard Thrawn in Mando, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, well, in name, yeah.
In name, that
She's
was
looking
it.
for Grand Admiral Thrawn, yeah.
So are we close to the same timeline, or is this completely?
I think Thrawn could show up in it because what he popped up in Rebels, so who knows what he was doing.
He really could.
Yeah,
wasn't he still in the unknown regions before, even when he came back in from Rebels? I swear.
I don't remember because he was season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who knows?
No, maybe he wasn't. Maybe they brought him in. No, he ended up in because he ended up in the unknown regions because that's where Ezra.
Yes, that's where the
space
whales took them into the unknown regions.
So we could see Thrawn, but I actually it would be really cool if they threaded more like that as well too. But this takes place about. This is going to be right around Order 66. So you're looking at about 19 years before A&H, A New Hope, and then which is about 10 years or so before Mando.
Okay.
Because you've got the 3 or 4 or 5 years during the Galactic Civil War, and then about 5 years post ROTJ. So you're looking at probably about a 30-year difference from Mando from when this is kicking off.
Based on what we've seen in Mandalorian and what we could get from the Bad Batch, which series do you think we could see Thrawn in first? Which one do you think is built more for Thrawn?
It will definitely built for the Mando.
Yeah,
Mando. That's.
I could see them even tying in some Obi-Wan stuff because I think the Obi-Wan series takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they drop something, they try and tie everything together. But I don't think Filoni and Favre are touching Obi, so who knows?
Or is Filoni or Fowler involved with Bad Batch?
Yeah, this is all
this is all
Filoni stuff.
Is this all Filoni stuff?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is all
okay.
him. Yep. Hey, real quick, thank you. If you guys didn't see that 6-piece nug throughout there, Hubble Bundle, he's always very, very kind and humble
Yeah, he's
himself.
very generous.
And in our Discords as well too. You guys, whoever grabs that first, there's a Humble Bundle right there. He's the man. Thank you, buddy.
Get a hold of it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
6-piece. No, I appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you doing that. No, I thought this was a dope trailer, man. I've always loved that. You know what's the word I'm looking for? The movie I'm trying to compare this to, like Suicide Squad or something like that, where you have just a bunch of like goofballs that are defects or whatever, and I feel like that type of camaraderie between the characters, it's super appealing to me. I think I've always loved that kind of humor, and obviously the show looks like it's loaded on action. I mean, there was no doubt there was a lot of action in this trailer, so I'm really excited about this. This drops on May 4th.
Yeah. May the
Wow.
4th be with you.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you.
Is that a Friday
I
this year too?
swear I thought it was a March,
think
and I was so
Tuesday.
upset when I found out that it wasn't.
That what is what?
I thought it was dropping in March, and then I was so upset when I found out it wasn't. I was
Right.
like,
It probably was supposed to. They've had to move stuff around so
But they're
much.
staggering, like we were talking about the other day. Like
Yeah.
every time they're they're keeping your subscriptions because
Yes.
you're getting whether it's Marvel or
Yeah.
Star Wars, whatever.
Because
it is.
once Falcon ends, that'll be the end of April, and then a week later, this comes out.
Well, then Loki's
That's
coming
good.
out.
Now
in May as
Loki's
well.
June 11th.
or June.
June
See?
11th. So as soon as this
I'm
one
really
ends,
excited
Loki's
for that.
out.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm trying to look to see
Tom
what the date
Hiddleston
is
fucking
here.
rules.
Yeah, he's great.
May 4th is a Tuesday.
May 4th is the 2 this year. I usually take May 4th off, so
So I can see
Because-
them doing the Tuesday, and then every other episode will be a Friday.
I would hope it's Friday. I love what Disney's doing with the Friday thing. It reminds me of the ABC back in the
They
80s.
own ABC, so it
TGI,
makes sense, you
TGI
know?
Friday. Remember you had Step by Step, Family Matters, Dinosaurs. You had an awesome Friday
Wayne's
night.
World.
Now you've got, what do we got on Friday night? We got Falcon. We've got Mighty Ducks. Could possibly have Bad Batch when that starts dropping. I mean, you're gonna want to be on there every Friday night, man. There's gonna be so many shows. So Disney's doing it right. And like you said, like we mentioned before, man, it's gonna be very difficult for anybody to drop their subscription. They're gonna take those two IPs, Marvel, Star Wars, and they're gonna stagger that shit so it makes it almost impossible to cancel your subscription.
Yeah.
Make it very difficult. So oh wow. Thank you guys
Thanks for that sub drop.
look
Appreciate
at you
ya.
guys.
What up?
Oh, the Miz. Thank you so much, Miz. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, dude.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's very, very kind. God, these people are so
Yeah,
damn
The
nice.
Miz is
great
in
people.
here.
Yeah.
Tell Morrison I said what's up.
Came to play.
Awesome.
What's up, Boots?
All right. Before we move on to the next trailer, I forgot we're doing a giveaway.
Now's a good time to start that off.
Now we will start the giveaway. Tell the folks what we're giving away tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, hopefully above the age of 18 in this chat, tonight's giveaway is going to be your choice of specifically a Rohit Raju t-shirt through ProWrestlingTees.com. That's after that hashtag Rohit as well. So whoever wins tonight, you go there, you say, hey, dude and fanboy, this is the shirt I want. Here's my size. Give us your address. We'll send it to you or drive it to you. Maybe beat you up and may have some dinner, whatever. But you can win one of those tonight. So that's really exciting. So that's what we're doing. So get ready for that shortly. And when dude says
It's on right now. Get in there right now. Put in for it. And or take something t-shirt. Oh man. Yeah, this one's pretty dope, right?
Mm.
Oh gosh, here we go. All right.
Hope you get canceled, Cap.
Man, he is savage. All right. We're going to move on to the next trailer. We had two awesome trailers. We had multiple trailers drop this week, honestly. We had a couple of them. There was another one I wanted to put out there. Was the Jason Statham flick, Man of Withdraw. Not that one. But we're going to take a look at the Suicide Squad trailer, the Red Band Suicide Squad trailer. This trailer pulls no punches. Let's take a look at what James Gunn has been working on.
tie your laces.
This trailer was fucking nuts.
It does.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a
John
corpse.
Cena's
Just
arms,
coming from a guy that
for
wears a
God's
toilet
sake.
seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire on. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
Steely Dan.
You know the deal. successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Num num.
Any questions?
And
Yes. That is your hand. Very good.
Eddie?
we're all gonna die.
I love this.
I hope so. Oh, for fuck's sake.
We failed the mission. You die.
We find out any information you give us is false.
You die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Hardly. Although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
So fucking funny.
Scene is funny, like national.
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Shark. I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my god! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Uh-huh.
We love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
No, that's a cat.
That cat
Yeah, that
is
looks
jacked.
that actually looks really good. I'm excited for that Suicide Squad. I hated the first film. I almost couldn't even finish it.
I didn't finish it.
Bad.
Man,
I did.
it's
And honestly,
so
that's the reason
horrible.
why I never saw Justice League until I finally watched the Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut was good. Now, so here's the thing. What universe does this take place in then?
Hey, great question when we're talking about DC. That's the first question
Yeah.
you probably should ask.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's still taking place in
'Cause it
the
has all-
actual
it has a scene.
DCU universe. I'm pretty sure it's
So-
supposed to.
But like, are we getting? That's the thing. So
Because because Jared Leto Joker is still the same Joker in all of it, right?
I guess. But then is the Batman the same Batman, or is
Supposed to
Robert
be.
Pattinson just gonna pop up and be like,
No,
yeah,
no, this is still supposed to be because the Detective Batman of Rob that version of him, Detective Comics,
right?
is a
That's
separate.
right. That's
you know,
right.
So
no
so
Henry,
this-
but Henry Cavill is Superman.
that would be this universe technically.
But Snyderverse supposedly isn't a thing anymore.
Well, it's not, but even the first Suicide
I'm
Squad.
confused. I'm bleeding out of my.
Well, because it's fucking DC, exactly.
Sure. So glitch the fucking Matrix.
What is going on with this universe?
Oh my god!
I just saw a black cat walk by. What does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you saw a black cat? But no, it takes place in that universe, but they kind of tend to stay away from it. Besides Jared Leto kind of being that link, I think as well too. Well, you saw Batfleck, I think, in Suicide Squad 1. Didn't he kind of punch down through that car when?
Yeah, he showed up with
Jared Oker was driving around.
And didn't he show up with
I don't know.
Will Smith's character?
I don't fucking barely watched that movie.
Yeah, that movie was
it was
trash.
basically Will Smith movie, but he had Suicide Squad. But anyways, digress. Listen, we got James Gunn at the helm now. That's the good news with all of this. He can bring together a motley crew of not really just actors, but characters and do something with them. We all know. I mean, he's using Steely fucking Dan. I mean, that's fucking rad. That's rad as fuck.
And that song that they doctored up for that trailer is now like a huge hit right now.
And that's how it
It's
works.
very similar to that one video where the dude was drinking the cranberry juice and he was riding on the back of the car. Did you guys ever see that that video that went viral? There was some song. No. There was a song. I can't remember.
Back to the Future 1?
No. No, it went viral. And actually, the guy, he was drinking Ocean Spray cranberry juice and he was on the back of the car and he was singing this song, or he was like lip syncing it. It was like a TikTok video. And it went viral. Like, it was huge.
Okay.
Ocean Spray sent him like a ton of they sent him a car and full of like Ocean Spray juices. I can't remember the name of the song, but whatever song was playing shot up at the top of the Fleetwood Mac. There you go. The dude on the skateboard. Yes, these guys know.
Zach would say that. Like, out of all the people in that, you'd say Peter Capaldi. Can you ban this guy?
Here Comes the Rain. Yeah, that's the song that's playing.
But yeah, so like this is still in that DCU, but they just kind of like forgive themselves. And you're right, like again, like that's a good point, because think of like Guardians 1, James Gunn brings these different Chris Pratt comes in, all that stuff, and then what happens? I have that soundtrack, that first soundtrack from that movie. I got on, it's like the only Google Play soundtrack I have, because they're giving it out for free for a promo. And like think of the music in that movie too that blew it up. Like we're talking like classic fucking, what's me so classic rock, 70s fucking great music like that. So it's cool to see that happen and blow up again too, because you know, I kind of grew up on Steely Dan.
But he also took obscure characters and made them household names,
and that's what I think he's about to do here. Suicide
yeah,
Squad
because
2.
I remember watching, I was like, Rocky Raccoon, what? And then I remember seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, I'm sold.
There was one friend I had at the time that was actually legitimately into the Guardians of the Galaxy comics and was like super excited for it, because he's like, this is crazy that Guardians is a thing and stuff like that. He's like, this has potential to be really cool, because he's like, I love this comic. And I was like, I'm excited because it's Marvel, but we'll see. And then here's James Gunn blowing it up as well too.
Yeah, he has a way to take a bunch of like big name actors, a lot of characters, and kind of like create a cohesive story that's easy to follow, and kind of get backstory for all the characters. He does a very good job of that. I feel like this is going to be a much bigger challenge, because he has, I mean, if you look at the roster of people, so this is a massive cast. I mean, what you saw in the trailer was just a fraction of what we're going to get in this movie. I mean, I think there's Nathan Fillion, John Cena.
Nathan Fillion really in that?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion's in this.
Oh, that's right.
He's walking. He's taking a drink. He's got that blue mask on. It looks like a cat mask or something. But I mean, it is a massive cast. So this is going to be a big job for James Gunn to, again, do what he did with Guardians, put everyone in the right spot, and make their stories cohesive, make their stories, you know, not emotional, but just deep stories, not just shallow. It's going to be a lot more difficult with this, but that trailer, man, that looked fucking hype.
I did.
That looked really, really good. But, you know, I was curious about the same thing. Where does this fall? I mean, is this a new Suicide? Is this a sequel? Because you have some of the same actors. You have a different...
Right, and I want to come, because Forge makes a comment out there, too. He's like, well, it's kind of Marvel doesn't get a pass in that because, well, so...
Which Hulk movie is the real one?
Right. So the Hulk movie with Ed Norton is technically still recognized by the MCU. They just don't include it. I don't know how to make that make sense, but I can tell you, because especially with the stuff they had planned at the end with Robert Downey Jr. and Thunderbolt Ross and all that stuff and all the connectivity and stuff like that, but Ed Norton was not easy to work with, apparently. He claims they weren't easy to work with, but they figured out the secret sauce.
I've heard more rumors about Ed Norton being difficult to work with,
which is probably true.
He had his own like thing he wanted to do, and they didn't want to do it.
Right. So like, it's kind of weird, because like it does recognize kind of even the end of the Eric Bana one as well too. Like he kind of just goes and gets secluded.
Not really.
That's your... I was like, wow.
Not really.
Yikes.
I'm fucking green. As a big Hulk fan, I'll tell you, like, I'll be honest with you, I saw it in the theater, I bought it day one. It's not good, and I knew that.
That's Ang Lee directed that, right?
I think so. Is that right?
Ang Lee did that Banner one. I don't know who did the...
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Ed Norton directed the Ed Norton one.
Really?
Did Ed Norton direct that one?
I think he directed that
one.
wow.
Okay.
Somebody can double check me on that. Cuddles, did Ed Norton direct the Ed Norton one?
Ed Norton thinks he's Nick
I
Cage.
think that's probably part of the problem, yes. I think that's actually part of the problem.
And Ed Norton couldn't be more wrong.
Right, but they do recognize to a degree, because when you flash to Mark Ruffalo, he's in the secluded same area that he was doing the same stuff that Ed Norton kind of was in that. So it's supposed to be kind of, and I think that's what's going to happen with this is like, for some reason they clap around Alex Murphy. I can never remember his name. Kovacs from fucking Altered Carbon as well too. I can never remember his name. The guy that plays that lead character. It was his girlfriend in Suicide Squad. That was what's her face?
Oh God, yeah.
Jesus, that whole thing. But I think they're going to silently move away from that and just it's there. They're not going to forget it. What are we doing out here?
Forge says it says a lot that Ed Norton, the actor, couldn't handle working with Ed Norton, the director. Just hear him yelling in his trailer, yelling at himself. No, I don't want to do that scene. You're going to do that scene.
It's canon without Norton. Yeah.
I heard the Altered Carbon season 2 was not good.
I couldn't finish it.
It was that bad?
And some and I'm a
story or acting, or was it just the story was bad?
Kind of the story, because clearly Anthony Mackie's
obviously he can act. So
it just, I don't know, like I don't know. I gotta finish it. My wife actually really enjoyed it still, and there's people out there that do enjoyed it, but yeah, Cap hated it. Yeah, see, so there we go.
Jeez, not bad.
Yeah, and it like the first one like ripped me. Like I was like, what? It was like one of those. It's kind of like how what's the other show? Raised by Wolves was an awesome sci-fi that came out of nowhere.
I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
You got to bring it up. But
watch the point.
Altered Comment.
I'll watch them both tonight, you guys. I promise.
Thanks, man.
I'll break it down next week for you.
But yeah, no Altered Carbon season 2 wasn't that great, and it's a shame. But that actor, he's kind of like a Keanu Reeves in the sense that he kind of it looks like he's got more animation. That's well, I mean, just that.
Messing with you.
Yeah. He kind of fits that real like somber kind of.
Are you talking about the main guy that was in the trailer?
Yeah.
He was in the first one too, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's which I'm saying.
He was great in the show called The Killing, which is like a serious show, murder mystery show. He was awesome in that.
I heard he's gotten some praise for his work on television.
He was great in Altered Carbon. He fit great as
he was
Kovacs.
Cool.
I thought he was great in that. And honestly, as Alex Murphy, like he didn't do a whole lot with Alex Murphy, but he as a reboot, he fit that character fine. Yeah, it's not really hard to.
He didn't say Sting.
Oh yeah.
Every time we say Alex Murphy, I think of RoboCop. Wasn't that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he played in the 2014 reboot of Alex Murphy.
Oh, okay.
That's why I keep saying Alex.
Oh,
Murphy.
I never even saw that RoboCop. I avoided that one. Isn't it Michael Keaton in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
He
plays no Dick Jones.
I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones.
Dick Jones. I work for Dick Jones. It's the best.
What's going on there, Bobby?
Yeah.
Yep. Fucking.
Oh my God, for a dollar.
Man, I walked downstairs one day, and because the kids were down here playing, and as I'm walking down, I hear the TV on, and I hear that and I'm like, no! Turn the TV on. I'm like, you guys can't see this scene, man. This gets really
Especially
bad.
if it's the unrated.
It was the
version.
unrated one. I was like,
that is brutal.
I had to turn that shit off real quick. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you guys can't watch this, man. But you guys can go watch Predator. You can't watch this, though. That's what I thought. You can watch Predator.
All right, Dad.
You're the Jim Hoppers, man. You're skinned alive. That's my shit right there.
Overall, though, I mean, you guys dig the trailer. You guys are excited for that. I mean, I honestly, couldn't finish.
More than
I couldn't finish Suicide Squad.
So
it
terrible.
ruined the DCU for me. Like I had no interest in seeing anymore. Like I said, I didn't. I avoided Justice League. I watched this trailer. I like the fact that James Gunn was involved, and again, all the characters, a lot of the actors are really good actors.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stomach what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the people.
I hated
bringing
Jared
the guys
Leto's
who worked with
Joker.
Marvel and too.
Hated Jared.
And
Leto's
you
Joker.
hate Jared. I don't hate it. I just don't really care for as much as the other ones.
Man, he was fine in Snyderverse, but it was very, whatever. But
Snyderverse was so
Snyderverse was good, man. I liked it.
I was a big fan of it.
I don't think it needed
straightforward.
Everything didn't need to be in slow motion, but whatever. Like literally, it's like.
Oh, Snyder cut stuff.
Yeah, what was it? I think it was 10% of the movie was slow motion.
Yeah.
Somebody did like a 10% of the movie was slow
We
motion,
expected it.
which is fucking nuts. I have a RoboCop.
Do you really?
too. No, he doesn't.
He probably does.
He probably does. Polka Dot Man has been in everything.
Polka Dot
First
Man.
one without Smith would have been good.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Before we move on to television, we got to talk about Mighty Ducks up next. I know King Cuddles want to call. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Are you really?
Believe it or not.
I don't.
They got him pinching it off for me.
All right, we're going to move on to our next topic. We're going to talk about the Mighty Ducks. The first episode, there you go. The Flying V, Gordon Bombay and company are back. And this dropped on Friday night on Disney+. You and I watched it. We checked it out. Are you familiar with the ones that, like, when we were younger?
Yeah, are these, they were kids. Why are these guys, like, what is this?
That's actually all of the kids.
Oh, grown up?
Yeah.
I was like, what are these guys?
I don't remember their names. This was
is that Cap on the very end there? You see him back there? Right there? Look at him.
This guy right here?
Yeah, Sean Paul, good for you, man.
And this is old boy. This was the really good player.
Are they going to be in it eventually?
But
I think so.
But the one
they
guy
were in the first episode
got arrested and went to jail, right? The little fat.
Oh, not the goalie.
Yeah, he
did some.
He got turned around though. He's good now.
Oh, did he? Oh,
he went through rehab and everything. Yeah, they picked him up for like road bad.
Yeah, Stricky knows Banks. Yeah, that was the kid's name, Banks. He was the really good player. But you can see Emilio is hiding behind
what about the
Rohit
Smash
here.
Brothers?
Who? None.
Smash Brothers.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about
Smash
Mighty
Brothers.
Ducks. You watched the first episode. What was your Goldberg? Yeah, Goldberg was the goalie. I forgot about Goldberg.
Was it Froggy Nelson? The guy that played him. He's one of the Bash Brothers in one of the Ducks. Remember that from the Daredevil show?
I don't. It's been a long time since I watched Ducks.
Man, all right.
It's been a really long time. Like I seriously haven't watched it since when it first came out.
life by it, man.
Do you really?
And, yeah,
I
I'm
bet
flying,
you
I
do.
fly V everywhere.
Fly the V when I'm driving.
Dude, you don't even know. No, I really enjoyed it. It's exactly what I would want it to be. I know we're gonna kind of touch on it because everything now comes full circle when you talk about rehashing this old shit. And if it's not like Cobra Kai or got some essence of that, you know, it's probably
You got to be very respectful of the source material. You have to be very respectful.
and that's the point. Don't get him started, please. But that's the point.
I want to get him started.
Don't get him started.
I want to get him going.
I know.
Don't get me started.
Don't get him started. No, but
I'll behave.
So
behave.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We don't.
So it was enjoyable. It was what it should be. And again, this is where I think Cobra Kai is a broad stroke for all ages. They want to bring us old guys back in and old ladies back in to relive all this stuff like that. This also kind of does the same, but it's definitely more aimed for the kids.
Oh yeah,
like
when I watched it, I was like, this is really geared towards my kids.
Yep. It's gonna be like that old TGIF kind of thing on Friday nights. It's definitely got that kind of feel, that feel good. I'm a single parent. I got a lot on my plate. You know, there's all these people over here, like, you know,
the elitists.
Yeah, she's hiring 2 people to practice for her kid, like,
like an athletic trainer,
athletic trainer and stuff. And she's like, dude, where's the fun in all this and blah blah blah. But the interesting part about the whole thing, and that's all fine and well, and like I said, I really enjoyed it, was the twist that you're kind of getting set up is that at the end of the day, Coach Bombay is not the same Coach Bombay.
He is not Coach Bombay from the 90s.
Yeah, he was a heart-filled, you know, maybe he did or didn't like kids back then, just did his thing, but he pretty much is at the last couple strings left in his life, and, you know, he's hanging on there and probably barely making ends meet and just doesn't care about
Johnny, huh?
Because he probably, my guess is Big Shark ate Bigger Shark or something like that, and now he's just a little shark trying to survive or whatever it is. So he's got a lot of ill will for his past, and that's where he's been at for maybe a couple decades. I don't know. But I like that because I think that's a good dynamic because he will be clearly a focal point and something to work off from, but they can still push forward with everything else and the new folks and the new story.
Yeah, and you know, you talked about Cobra Kai. I mean, you know, when we watched the Mighty Ducks, they were kind of like the ragtag group of players, and then at the end they come together and they're like really good team. But then like Cobra Kai, you know, it kind of flips the tables a bit. At the start of this one, Mighty Ducks are kind of like the elitists now because they've grown to that point, and now they're like take hockey super seriously, and you're just like, oh man, these aren't the Ducks that I remember back in the day. So you kind of get that changing of you know, who's the elite and who's not, and you kind of have it swapped around, kind of like we did with Cobra Kai. So I think it's like you said, it's cool that they're looking at that format, but again, they're being very respectful to the source material. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, Gordon Bombay is a shell of what we last saw him as. I tell you what, man, the older Emilio Estevez gets, the more he sounds like his dad.
He looks like him too.
Yeah,
he fucking looks like him.
When he talks, I'm like, that's fucking Martin Sheen doing a voiceover right now. That's not Emilio Estevez, that's Martin Sheen doing a voiceover.
Crazy.
Yeah, he looks and sounds just like Martin Sheen.
He's starting to look like Brushy Bill. I don't know, Young Guns fans.
Oh yeah, right.
Tricky Bean says, Mighty Ducks is my life, my real life hockey story as a player. I didn't start playing until I was 12, was on a shitty team, and I was terrible, worked hard, and played travel when I was 15.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, you do flying V's all the time too, bro. What up?
Did you run the flying V?
Yeah, what's up?
But
you know when I think flying V, never mind.
Oh my god. Well, there we go.
Turn the candle, children.
Cancel me. I'm already canceled. Cancel me. I'm already canceled.
You can't cancel me if I'm already canceled. You gotta have that meme.
I was thinking Vader time.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I bet you were.
Yeah,
it's Vader. Time.
Liar.
No, but I thought it was really cool. Now I do know King Cuddles would like to call in and discuss.
I guess I do need my headset.
Yeah, you guys are going to need your headsets because Cuddles wants to call in.
Your landing gear is down.
And wants to have a little. He wants to say some things about the Mighty Ducks. Now I don't know if Cuddles is going to come in here sober, so prepare yourselves.
Let's go.
There's a distinct possibility. I should probably get into the channel to be on this call with Cuddles.
Is he in there?
Tricky's in here. Tricky, get out of here.
Tricky going to be in there later?
Tricky's going to be in there later. Cuddles, if you're there, we are ready for you.
Cuddles over.
I think he's in there. Cuddles, do you copy?
Over.
There he is.
There he is.
We are going to bring on our number one mod, Mr. King Cuddles. King Cuddles, you're on the air. How's it going tonight, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Oh my
Oh,
man, that was
friggin'
really loud.
Bartron.
Bartron. That was loud. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
No, I understand you wanted to have you wanted to say a couple things about the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. First thing, long time watcher, first time caller. Yeah, no, I watched the Mighty Ducks, and
What just happened?
I don't know. That's really loud.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Let's adjust some levels.
Yeah. Try it again. Try it again, Cuddles.
You should
Am I still
probably
loud?
get the microphone out of your nose.
No, try it now.
It's not there. It's not me. It's you.
Try it again.
That's what they always say.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Or
here.
the opposite.
All right, you should be good. How's that sound for you guys? We're still trying to figure out the Discord here. It's a little goofy with some of the volumes. Let me turn this down a little bit.
Sounds like you're talking in a tuna can.
No, it's just it's Discord. All right, go ahead, Cuddles.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we should be good. We're good, buddy. Go ahead.
Now you're good. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I watched the Mighty Ducks. First off, it kind of hit home with the whole, like the travel aspect of it, because my daughter plays travel sports, and those parents were, oh my god, they're so like all the other parents that are out there on these travel sports, like just the craziness of having like personal trainers and doctors, and so that part really hit home. But as far as the Mighty Ducks, I grew up watching Mighty Ducks. I love the show. I like the aspect of it. I like where it's coming from. One thing I am confused on, and I don't know if y'all picked this up, is like why Gordon Bombay still hates hockey and kids.
That was the weirdest part for me. I was just like, man, where did he lose his love for the sport? Where did he lose his love for being like this kind of like savior for these kids that didn't have anyone to really look up to?
I think his nephew had a bad dream about hockey, and he was gonna kill him in his sleep, and there was like a misunderstanding.
Just a misunderstanding.
You know where I'm going with that, Tone.
Yeah. You just got Star Wars really heavily.
Sorry.
On that one. So that's actually a good point. Didn't he hate kids in hockey back in the 90s too?
When he first started, he wasn't interested.
When he first started, but then he coached the teams afterwards. I mean,
all
figured
the
we
hugs
got over
changed
that.
him.
Yeah, too many hugs. No, yeah, that's really interesting. Like, I don't understand. I mean, obviously, hopefully, that's something we're gonna have to explore. I mean, we got to figure out what happened to his character along the way. Now, keep in mind, how many Ducks movies were there?
3, wasn't there?
I think there was like
3
or 4, but I don't. Was he in all of them?
I don't know. Was he
Amelia
in all of them,
Earhart?
Cuddles?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't.
Pretty sure.
Was there anything in the third one that would suggest that he would lose interest in coaching, or was it just pretty much the same in all of them?
That's what I'm saying. I can't remember it. It's been a while since I've seen the third one, to be honest with you. The third one always kind of mind-boggled me too. How these kids went from playing in the Olympics and then couldn't even make their high school team. But
right.
No, I think that's going to be, and again, and if they can explore something like that, I think that would give the show some depth. Obviously we talked about, it seems like it's geared towards kids, but this is a show that would be geared towards adults who followed those movies when they were younger. So you got to have something there for Gordon Bombay, because some people were going to try to relate to him as well. He was a big part of that movie. He was a big part of the franchise. So yeah, I hope we do figure out what's going on with him.
They'll probably have like a whole episode.
Oh,
of
they have
exposition
to.
and flashbacks,
Like
and
a
stuff
flashback.
Like that.
I mean, it seems like he might have an interest in the new player's mom. He seems like there might be something there, so I'm sure he'll have an opening up.
Rockin', knockin' the boot.
Yeah, there you go. He might have a moment where he wants to open up and explain, because she knows now. Well, you used to coach. Why don't you coach anymore? So it's probably going to be a story arc. They're going to
Personal lady,
explore.
don't talk about my business.
Yes, don't
Mind
look
your
at my
business,
pictures.
lady.
But
I
no,
can't even see her without thinking of Bad Santa, though.
I know she's in Bad Santa.
I knew I recognized her from somewhere.
She's the girlfriend of Bad Santa.
She's also the lady from.
She's on Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, she's
yes.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
I only know that because my.
But no, I thought it was a good starter episode. I mean, like you said, it's you can tell it's meant to be a series. They're going to set you up with certain things, much like Cobra Kai did. Every episode of Cobra Kai ended with like a cliffhanger. You're just like, oh fuck, what's going to happen now? And I feel like
it's no Cobra Kai though. Let's be honest.
That's true. That's true.
But not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
You never know. Cobra Kai, when it first started, I was just kind of like, oh, this could be all right. And then once the plot started to intertwine and things started getting crazy through the last couple episodes, you're like, oh, this shit's actually pretty deep.
I thought it was good right off the bat, but
I did too. Well, unless with this, they could honestly go to this route where they're training, they're trying to get better and stuff like that, and then they gotta well, how am I gonna get better at hockey? Oh, you sign up to the local dojo.
course, sign him at the local dojo.
And maybe he needs like a new like van to take the people places. So he goes to
Russo Auto
Sales. Russo Auto Sales.
I see what they're doing here.
Yeah,
But overall, Cuddles, I mean, did you like this episode? Do you feel like it sets a good tone? Do you think it's respectful of the source material?
Yeah, I mean, I did like the episode. I like how they kind of flipped the script, made the Mighty Ducks kind of the bad guys.
Right.
I am looking more forward to seeing what happens. I mean, they kind of left it kind of open in that first episode, in my opinion. But I like to hopefully see what Gordon Bombay does for the new team. See how that goes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be an integral part of the story. I mean, he is the Mighty Ducks. He was the face of the franchise. So
he's the Mighty Duck man himself. I turned around and was like, Emilio!
But no,
I could almost
go ahead.
I said I could almost put money on it. He starts dating the mom.
Oh,
the narrative.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hook up with the mom, and then he's gonna open up about why he is the way he is now. And
he's gonna be the goalie. He's gonna be the puck.
Oh my god!
Hey,
Cuddles, you want to come over here and take over for Tone? This is the type of material we're gonna get for the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, Dude Cuddles 2021. Let's go.
Dude Cuddles 2021. I like it, man.
Stupidest name I've ever heard.
Do you want to add anything else, Cuddles? Or anything else you want to mention about the show that stood out?
No, it's good, man.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you calling. We appreciate everything you do, man. You're a hell of a mod, and we love hearing from you, and hopefully we can hear from you more in the future.
Yeah, man. You'll take it easy.
All right, homie.
Buddy.
That was caller number 5, Cuddles.
Yes, that was.
He didn't win the prize. Sorry, Cuddles.
Yeah, I agree with what Cuddles said. I think it's really interesting. Are they going to explore? I feel like you have to at this point. With the way the episode was set up, you have to explore what's going on with Gordon Bombay. So whether or not that's going to be an interesting story going forward, because again, I agree with what you said. Like the episode it felt very kid friendly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of themes. Obviously,
there's not going to be gratuitous sex scenes.
Right. So we're not going to see him bang his mom. So I might as well just not watch anymore. Awesome. Cool.
There it is.
But no, I mean, how deep can they go with the themes in a show like this, though? I mean, if it's geared towards kids, is it giving me anything like nearly as deep as Cobra Kai?
You can. Look at like when you watched Family Matters or Full House or something. They always had something that was maybe not super dark, but it was
a
like
real theme. Like
it was
a real life
theme.
thing.
Yeah, and they painted over it a little bit, but I'm sure it's Disney. They can get away with that.
Yeah, they can.
Especially conveying that to kids. Somebody being a drunk or something of that nature or whatever, or it could be a corporation taking over this and whatever, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think there's not a promise here though. The cast is really good. The kids are funny in it. I dig Emilio Estevez, and her name escapes me, but the girl from Gilmore Girls, I want to say it's something Graham.
Teddy Grahams?
No, not Teddy Grahams, not at all. But yeah, good first episode. We'll have to see what's Lauren Graham. That's her name, Lauren Graham.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
There you go,
Nice.
Lauren Graham. I knew it
we
would click. You doing all right?
I probably should take my break now. But don't forget, while I'm gone,
yes,
to make sure you hit the ! enter for a chance to win a RohitRaju T-shirt of your choice.
That's right.
From Pro Wrestling Team.
That's right.
T.com.
You have the Mocha Skin Mandalorian. It's literally me with the Mandalorian armor on, half-ass naked, looking jacked out of my mind. Instead of Baby Yoda, Grogu, in the little in this thing right here, the baby carriage. This, Tone got me. This is just sweet. Instead of Grogu in this, it's the X Division. It's the Flex Division.
Flex
Championship
Division.
belt. There's also the Wu-Tang inspired H&Z for Hakeem Zayn. That's probably the best seller.
Dope one.
There's the Daisy Hitman one. It's kind of like a knockoff Bret Hart logo, but it's really sweet and it's mine, so it's not knockoff.
Obviously, it's awesome. Yeah,
exactly.
Kind of cool.
It's an evolution. It's a step up.
There's, for anime fans out there, there's one of me as Kid Boo.
That's one I got.
That's one of my favorites.
That's
it's
Oob.
And it's but it's me when I had my mohawk. There's another one of myself and my tag partner, get well soon buddy Calm, one half of the Hustle and the Muscle.
Hustle and the Muscle.
We are standing. I'm like more like a Vegeta. He's more like a what's the guy's name, the bald dude?
Ichigo,
yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe Nappa. When they came to the Saiyan Saga, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you would know it. But there's a ton of stuff on there. But yeah, check it out. Check it out, please.
We got that link up there.
Make sure you get in there.
Link up there, yeah.
Exclamation point, enter.
Yeah, go check it out, You look at them shirts. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Mocha Skin Madness. Maybe that'll be the next one. Who knows? Yeah, we don't know. All I know is if I catch you in the street and you're wearing a Jake something shirt, I'm gonna punch your teeth out, just like I'm gonna punch his out. If you saw the Instagram story, I locked in $1 million dream and he was tapping and crying like a little baby. Yeah. One time back in '89, he locked a $1 million dream on me, but I fought hard. Yeah, because I'm the macho man and that's what we do. Yeah.
Sounds just like him.
I'm gonna kick Dude out of here, and he's gonna hang out here for Banter Babble. It's way
Oh,
more
all
fun.
right. Well,
Talking
cool.
about
I might actually
it
piss
real quick.
We'll be right back while this guy goes and takes a leak.
Go figure.
Go figure. Let's try this again. Now we're back. There it is. Hey,
There it
we
is.
got it. We're good to go. We're back live.
on the GPU.
Yep, tone pissed all over OBS, and now it's just got a mind of its own. All right, our next topic we're going to be talking about is Invincible, which dropped on Amazon Prime on Friday, and we got the first 3 episodes to drop.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit mostly about the first episode. We'll throw in some stuff about 2 and 3, but for the most part, first impressions of Invincible. This is created by Robert Kirkman. I have no prior knowledge, anything with the books or comics that were created here. So I really came into this kind of like just thinking this is a whole new thing. You know, never knew anything about it. First impressions of the episode 1. Tone, we'll start with you.
I really enjoyed it. I let me backtrack. So I enjoyed it. However, the main group, the whatever they're called,
The Guardians of the Globe.
Guardians of the Globe, are a complete JLA ripoff. Like it's ridiculous almost. And I was kind of like, what the fuck? Because here's the thing. I'm not going to get too deep into this. I'm not really a fan of Robert Kirkland. I loved The Walking Dead when it was in comic book form, and then he decided to be a sellout and did what he did with the TV show. Whatever, another 0 at the end of the check, you know, good, whatever. But so I was kind of apprehensive on like how good this was going to be. I know he's got the potential. Watched it, saw that, and was like, that's kind of cringy. However, without spoiling too much into it, by the end of that episode, there was a reason why, and it works, and it's fine. So like after watching, so I went from like, okay, I'm enjoying it. I like what they're doing. I like the setup. I thought there's a lot of thought process in there. There's some things going on here that I'm digging. Clearly, I'm recognizing voices. I didn't look at the cast right away, but I'm hearing all the cast members. And since it's on Prime, what I do love about Prime is fantastic for pausing. And I do that shit all the time, too.
Omni-Man's getting a little love.
I do that stuff all the time, yeah. Completely just railed my train of thought.
All right, my bad.
Awesome, that's funny. Amazon Prime allows you to pause and check out casts and stuff like that.
Yes,
Stuff
Pop-up TV, pop-up video, kind of.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
So I love about that. So I was hearing voice. I'm like, is this? So I was able to check that. You got J.K. Simmons in there. You got
Sandra Oh, Stephen Yen, Zazie Beetz,
Michigan native
Walton Goggins.
Walter Goggins, yeah.
Jillian Jacobs, Jason Matsukas.
I heard Jillian Jacobs right away because of my community watch. I'm like, is that fucking Britta?
Zachary Quinto, the great Clancy Brown.
Brown.
Seth Rogen, and of course,
the one
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill's got a role. So by the time I got done with the so after the ending and some of the stuff that happened at first, you're like the first episode, you're like, sweet, wow.
Yeah.
The second couple episodes, while maybe weren't as memorable as the first, I still feel like it's probably 8 or 10 episodes that's gonna happen with this. You know, we're gonna really in with that first one. We're gonna build some dynamic, some character stuff. So they're definitely a blip on the radar, but a very small blip. So far I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for more. They gave us 3 episodes. I definitely recommend it if you're an adult man-child like myself, you'll probably like it. If you like comics, you'll probably like it. There's a lot of things here for, I think, a little bit of everybody. It's pretty fun. So,
How about you? What'd you think?
Actually, same, very similar. I didn't watch the 2 and 3. I finished, the first episode here, but I was the same way. I was like, where's this going? Typical superhero tropes. I was like, okay, this could be something. And I remember seeing on my Amazon TV, I had like a still of it, and one of the dudes was all bloody. I was like, man, is this kind of violent? Like, okay. Right. So I was expecting something, but I wasn't expecting what happened at the end. And I was like, oh, okay, this is where it's going. I'm hooked. I'm in. Let's see what happens. So I'm very excited. You got to get through the first episode. It does kind of drag because it doesn't drag because it's bad. It drags because it's paint by numbers. But when you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay,
they
cool.
flipped the script.
They flipped the script.
You get your Red Wedding type of ending.
Yeah, kind of. And it's really good. And now I'm like, I have to see where this goes.
Right. That's some good points there. I like, there were a couple things during the episode that I like the way that Mark and his dad, they kind of explore the father-son relationship. And, Mark is slow to get his powers. His dad has it, and when he finally gets him, his dad takes him under his wing, kind of goes through here's what you need to get used to when you're flying. Here's some of the things and he kind of gives him the 101 to being a superhero. And there's some cool stuff that they kind of explore that they never really touched on in other superhero movies. You're like, oh, that's something I never really thought about. Especially the flying portion of it. It kind of goes into a little bit of detail, like feel with your body. And
stuff like that.
I thought that was really, really cool.
A lot of little stuff was cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. They're exploring that stuff. So I love the dynamic between the two. Obviously, we talked about the ending of the episode, which is just fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an end credit scene. Like the whole episode plays out. It is. You get credits, and then stuff starts to happen, and then it's like another 10 minutes, and then, like Rohit said, I'm sitting here watching the previous list, and they're like talking about ultra violent show, and I'm watching through most of the show. I'm like, man, there's not a whole lot of like crazy. Yeah, you need a little gunshots and a couple explosions.
Yeah, what to do?
And now that we're 3 episodes in, yes, the show lives up to its what they were saying, that it's going to be an ultra violent show. There is some cool story, and you haven't seen it, so I won't get too deep into it. But there are some characters that were introduced in episodes 2 and 3, Cecil and the robot specifically, and they
Zachary
have
Quinto's
stuff.
Voice, yeah,
Zachary
cool.
Quinto is the robot.
Nice.
Yeah, they kind of explore some things, and some things start to happen with them. So there are some mysterious storylines starting to build up, which should be really, really interesting. I love how they kind of just slowly explore stuff. Wait till the later shit, Mortal Kombat level gore. Ooh,
wow. It reminded me of like The Boys, especially if you've ever read The Boys graphic novels or comic book series. It's very hypersexual, hyper violent, and that's the way this ended. I was like, oh, okay. It's like almost like it could get to
Wait
that
till
Boys.
we're episode 2. You'll start in 3. You'll start to see a little bit more of some of that too.
Yeah, and that's what it reminded me of. And I was a huge fan of The Boys, like comics and the show. So, and this being, I think it will get a little bit more leeway being a cartoon than actual live action. So,
and probably because it's on Amazon, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. Yeah, man.
El Blanco says if they stay close to the comics, then there's going to be a lot of bombshells dropped throughout the series. So I'm cool with that, and maybe that's the allure of what they did with the episode. First episode was kind of a slow burn, and then now it's like, okay, let's put the pedal to the metal and let's go. And this is where the shit starts to pick up, because we saw that again in episode 2 and 3. There are some story arcs that are starting to form. That's going to make things very interesting, but there's also more violence as from episode 2 and 3. It's starting to build up more and more. So we're headed in the right direction from what we were promised.
And we do, I think, and this is going to be me saying this, and you may take this with a grain of salt too, but that's great and fine, El Blanco. But we're also talking about Robert Kirkland, who used the Walking Dead books as toilet paper when he wiped his ass for his check money. So. He took that series and completely put it into a fucking wall. So
how many seasons did that show?
I don't fucking care. So we gotta be careful. We gotta be fucking careful with what's gonna happen here, because that sounds great, but are we gonna get that? Who fucking knows? Somebody could say, "Hey, Robert, do this instead of this character because this one's popular." Oh, we'll fucking put a 0 on the check and we'll do this.
So he's just a huge sellout, is what you're saying.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Wow, that angers you, doesn't it?
Because the Walking Dead graphic novels were are so fucking good.
Yeah, they were.
And the show does not live up to that because of story.
Did it just deviate from the story completely?
There are characters that died early on in the TV series that lasted through multiple years of the
So
comic.
characters that you were invested in, that you were super hyped to see them in the show,
they were flipping
and then they
shit.
off them.
They were flipping shit.
I felt that way about.
He's big mad, Kronos.
Maybe not as I wasn't as mad, but like the boys, because I read the graphic novels, and there's a lot of things in the graphic novels that they don't do in the show that does like upset me. I try not to, get that mad, but I see why you are, because there was some stuff I'm like, why would you do that and not do it how you did it in the comic?
Right.
But I'm trying not to, because I enjoy the show. I do enjoy the show, and I want to enjoy the show. But there was a twist in the show that happened that didn't happen in the comics that I thought added more depth.
The boys we're still talking, right?
Yes, I'm talking about the boys.
Yes.
I'm talking about the boys now. But there's some other stuff like, and they go to Russia at one part in the boys, which is a great storytelling and storyline. There's this thing called Herogasm, which I heard they might do in the show, but it's like literally like Maeve, for instance. I think she gives like bodybuilders cocaine so she can bang them.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, but she goes through like 10 of them at a time because they have like great stamina and stuff, but nobody can satisfy her. Like just wild shit in the comics. And then like
go on.
You have like a dude that's like Ant-Man that shrinks down and goes into this one girl's, and expands to like, his fist gets big. Like it's wild shit.
This is in the boys?
This is in the
This
boys.
is the
comics,
boys, yeah.
And I'm assuming this didn't make it into the show.
No.
Okay.
A lot of them did not. No.
Yeah,
So
and
there's
then
a reason. That's
and
probably
then
a
so
reason
like
why.
they have like
But yeah.
an X-Men team.
Sounds like me a couple.
But the professor is like
Matt Cody.
he's like a pedophile. Like
wow.
so Professor X is like a pedophile in this. So they have teams based off of actual comic book teams, like obviously the Sevens based off Justice League.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the X-Men guys were called in the boys. But there's a lot of crazy stuff like that.
Wow.
And then like in the comics, Starlight, when she first joins, this is spoiler territory if you're gonna read the comics, when she first joins the Seven, it wasn't the Deep, it's the entire group of guys that stand around.
She has to give a BJ too.
And he has to give a BJ too. So you can see how G-Men, that was it. It was G-Men. So you see how the boys comic, that's where I'm like, I know you can't do this maybe live action, especially nowadays, but the boys comic was so vulgar and so raw. Like I was like, to me, it's like, if superheroes had powers, or if superheroes were real, a lot of them would probably be pieces of shit. And that's exactly what they are. And now I love Homelander on the show, but Homelander in the comic is so much scarier to me.
He's an even bigger piece of shit.
Because he's like pretty much how, if you watch the Snyder Cut, how Superman was in the Snyder Cut, he's like towering. He's very cold and scary. That's how Homelander is in the comic. He's like 6'5". He's a big dude. He's already intimidating just by looking at him. The guy in the show isn't intimidating to me by looking at him. He's intimidating because
he's got that
he's
Captain America, Chris Evans look.
Yeah, but he's a sociopath and he does his job great, and I still like it.
Right.
But I'm the same way for that. Like for the boys, I'm like, man, Homelander in the comics is like that dude's.
That's probably the one you want. Too,
that's
right?
the one I want because he's like a baby killer and all this crazy stuff. And there's some twists and turns there, but it's like horrible things, and you're just like, oh god, like this is terrible. I want to see this guy get his comeuppance. Whereas the show is the show is still great because I love who's the guy that plays
Carl Urban.
God, I love him as
Billy.
Butcher. Oh, so good.
Carl Urban.
But side note, the fact that they have Huey's dad is Simon Pegg in the comics. Huey's based off Simon Pegg, and that's why they call him Wee Huey in the comics, because he's small and short. And that's why, and at one point he calls him, why do you guys keep calling me Wee Huey? I'm like 6'2", which I thought was hilarious in the show. But it's just small things like that. Yeah. But I do try to get past that. But I get your anger on that shit, dude.
So it's hard.
Totally.
And I know we're
I don't think
really,
they sold out, but I do think the guy from Walking Dead.
Yeah,
is like
I understand, especially now that I'm older. You have to adapt for TV, movies. Adaptation is hard, especially when you're coming off things. But there is a level of difference when you are clearly less concerned about your source material, more concerned about where the money and the popularity is.
Right.
And there is a fine line. And like, listen, I get at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money. We want to hit it big, whatever it is. However, as somebody that really enjoyed Walking Dead, and this was during the era when zombies were really popular, like in the late 2000 before 2010. I mean, you had Marvel Zombies that was awesome, Star Wars Zombies that was awesome. You had Left 4 Dead all over your face and shit like that. You know, this show had everybody excited. You know, when I grew up watching George R. Romero, I'm still a Romero guy. So when it comes to zombies, if it doesn't say Romero, I'm still gonna be like, that's great, but it's not Romero zombies, right? But he definitely he fell into, or somebody did with Walking Dead, that it was more about the drama piece and the hooking the people into the bullshit stories. Whereas the story alone in Walking Dead was good enough; it didn't need to be led off astray.
Right.
The end of season 1 made sense to where they were going for TV adaptation, but once you get into season 2, for instance, the character of Shane should have been dead in the first 3 episodes of season 1. That's a whole other topic. And he survived because it was a drama piece for everybody to get everybody worked up.
Yeah, it was their fan base who they were trying to...
It was a love triangle.
Yep.
They were trying to hook in everybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of stupid. So I digress from that. Point is that I'm excited about this so far. I willingly knowing it's Robert Kirkland. I also am apprehensive.
A little apprehensive. But I mean, promising so far, though. Like, I think the first 3 episodes, especially after the first one, it kind of sets things up for the second and third. And there's some, like I said, there's some cool story arcs that are being explored. And, you know, I'm optimistic. You know, I'm not familiar with Robert Kirkland's work, so I wasn't, you know, invested in Walking Dead. So, and I never watched the show. I think we watched the first 3 episodes. And I was like,
missed nothing.
It's either George Romero or 28 Days Later. Those are the only zombie movies I'm really interested in.
28 Days Later is really good.
Both of them are actually really good. There's 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. They're both really good.
good.
Jeremy Renner's actually in 28 Weeks
He
Later.
is.
Yeah. He gets pieced out about halfway through,
Those
but
are good
those movies are
Spoilers, dude.
Oh well, hey, if you haven't seen it by now, that's on you. But overall, yeah, I thought it was a cool show. I'm really cool, and this is one I'm excited to add to that Friday lineup of shows. I mean, you seriously have like 4 shows right now that are up on Fridays,
dude. And honestly, Amazon Prime is finally. We got a Lord of the Rings one coming sometime this year too.
Yeah,
I think this year. Okay,
I'm
so
hoping that's good. I'm
just open up Pandora's box potentially. With
yes,
that.
I hope we did.
I'm hoping it's good. I hope they don't change a bunch of stuff.
Is that your concern? That like they
Yeah.
kind of just change it?
What age is it though? Does it take place? Which age?
I thought it was the Third Age.
Third Age is basically when Aragorn takes over for, I think, at the end.
I think it was before the Prelude to the Ring, where it was Saruman was in power and stuff like that, or Sauron was
What was
in
his
power.
name before Saruman though?
Oh my god, I knew all this.
Come
My
on.
favorite book is the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Was it not Mordecai? Morgoth? No, Morgoth was pretty much the
Morgoth
devil.
was
And then
he was a servant of Morgoth, but he had a different name before Sauron.
yes, he did. What was it? I can't remember.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Well, I
Frank?
can't remember either.
No,
Frank.
it wasn't Frank.
Oh.
No, but
Definitely Frank.
I can go into that whole spiel. Silmarillion was like it was almost like the Bible for Lord of the
Silmarillion
Rings.
is basically the Bible for the Lord of the Rings. It all started with like how, like, you almost think of angels and herald of music.
Yes.
It all started, the Lord of the Rings is basically music. You had the Maiar,
Yes.
you had
Well, the Maiar, we had like the Aenor who were like angels, and then Ea, which I think is how you pronounce it, was like God, and they were all supposed to make a song.
Wasn't that Iluvatar? Eru Iluvatar? Basically God?
I can't remember. No, he was like the...
It's crazy
he was
when
like
you
the
get down
god.
into this shit, though.
Yeah, and then
Eru
Morgoth
Iluvatar
was
the one that
he was the one that wanted to do his own thing.
Morgoth didn't want to sing with everybody. He kind of wanted to have
Correct.
his own solo of singing.
He gets
and he's the
kicked
one that
out.
broke He was basically the devil, the Morning Star.
Yup, and he was pretty much, he created like the dark.
I know, right?
He created like...
He's a big Lord of the Rings fan, too.
Keep going, keep
Dude,
going. I'm learning,
He
dude.
creates like the Balrogs and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and then...
which is
like,
first stage, which is when you're talking about like all this
Yes.
stuff is all first stage.
And then the Ainur, it's like Ainur. They create the elves, who are the longest living thing, and then one of them creates the dwarves, and then years later, one of them creates man, and then Men was always jealous of. I'm so mad that I can't remember his name. Sauron's name,
first name
because he was a.
His name
He
is
wasn't
God.
a Maya or Maiar. He was above that, and but he was almost cowardly, and what he did was he made the rings, and he tricked people into doing it, and his body, like, men were the ones that were easily corruptible, but it was Aragorn's men, but they were jealous of
Númenóreans.
elves. Yes, they were jealous of elves because they had immortality.
They had
But
the
the elves are like, no, you
longevity.
have the gift of mortality where you get to actually enjoy things because it comes to an end.
Right.
Well, the Númenóreans were like, fuck that. We want what you have. They weren't allowed to go to the west, I think it was.
But they
because
started sleeping
was,
with the elves, and that's how they had longevity of their life, didn't they?
I can't remember that, but I know
Aragorn's
they went.
great granddad was like Elven.
I believe so. I don't remember all of it. It's been so many years since I read it. But man, it was
exactly. Stephen Colbert is a huge. You know that?
Yes. Yeah.
He's like psycho, like super, like crazy fan.
But the Silmarillion, I wish they would do a book on that because there wouldn't even be a book because Silmarillion's like literally ages of history, and like there's a family tree in the back of it, and there's so many things.
Everything.
The dragons could actually speak. Well, they, he did. He spoke in.
He spoke.
Yeah, that's right. But sometimes they could like hypnotize and stuff like that. I can't remember Shelob's mother, but she was Ungoliath, I think it was. And the elves
she lived in the Tower of Osgiliath, didn't she? Was that the same spot?
No, she was Ungoliath or something like that, like UNG. I mean, she was like a giant spider.
Umaga.
And she, like, the elves had these trees, like these towers of light, and she eats one of them. But in Return of the King, when they were at, I can't remember where was the men were. And they had like the tree of light in the courtyard. That was a sapling. Yeah, maybe it was Gondor.
It was
that tree of light was actually a sapling of one of the lamps.
Of one of the original ones.
Yeah. It was, man. The story was so cool. They had this huge war where they have all the Balrogs. Unearths them. There's like a shitload of them. And what's his face is still in the void. Morgoth. He's still in the void. But he had two names. It was Morgoth and something else. And
Sauron had a different name too. And then that's when he became the Necromancer.
Yes. And I can't
remember
remember his original name. But he ends up. It's so good, man. So that's what I'm
Banter
thinking.
Babble, everybody.
I'm hoping that whatever they do with this, because I heard they were gonna try to change some stuff for like agenda's sake, and I hope they don't do that. Just keep it how it was because it's such a good story.
Well, I thought that, and here's the thing, because what my point was is Amazon Prime is finally stepping up the play. They've had some good series,
yeah.
Where they just canceled American Gods, which
I heard that was really good.
Well, no, it's fine. They canceled it. It was pretty drawn out, but it was good for what it was worth. But it was just too drawn out. But I mean, they've got the Jack Ryan stuff going on there. They've got some good stuff going out there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
No, not at all.
But
I love that shit,
my point is that they're starting to really get into some great stuff. Like Netflix has done a great job with like a lot of them. They're not always a home run, but with the movies and series and HBO Max, for me, they're always spinning gold nonstop. And now we're finally seeing Amazon Prime has definitely reached. I mean, they bought Expanse from Sci-Fi. That I'm deep into that right now. That's really fucking good. I mean, it's like
Ricky Gervais's thing or something.
I don't know. I can just tell you it's sitting at like 90-some% IMDb.
That's not.
Like nothing gives it a rating less than like an 8.5, 9 anywhere for the TV series. But and we're getting Lord of the Rings. They've done great with like The Boys. This was probably their biggest breakout hit.
Yeah.
I think. Like
I mean
I think Jack Ryan was it's been a big one. It's a really good one, and people need to watch that. But The Boys definitely is like their breakout one.
They had some really good documentaries. Like I'm into like serial killer stuff, and like
they had a whole slate.
A lot of like old school, like the drug wars back in the day. They had this really good one on I think his name was Kiki Hernandez. Like the cartel captured him, tortured him, and he was a CIA agent. And this was like when marijuana was really huge, and like that was really good. And that if you ever watched Narcos is a great Netflix series. All of the Narcos shows are. But they had one about Ted Bundy and the women that he killed. And like his actual girlfriend who didn't know, then that was a trip. That was really good. And I believe those were all, I found those all on Amazon.
I believe they're all on it, because I think my wife was talking about that.
Man, that after you watch that stuff, I have to watch like Care Bears or something afterwards, because that shit is
soften you up.
Yeah, that's real. Like the narco stuff and that is like, and the serial killer stuff is real. I gotta get out of there, man. Good God.
Give me a Care. I'm more of a Care Bear cousin kind of guy though.
When you watch those shows and you see how dark people get, how deep they get, and you're just like, how do you even get down there, and how do you think like that?
And then I was watching something, a psychiatrist said like you can't think like that because their minds aren't wired that way. People that do these dark, crazy things, like you'll never be able to fathom it, because
Robert Stack,
you're
creeped you out.
But man, though, I can't even watch unsolved mysteries because I get pissed, because obviously they're unsolved. But some of the injustice like it happens to some of these people, I'm like, I can't watch it because it makes me so upset.
Tell me about it, Ultra Magnus.
Yeah. Prime, you said it would open our darkest hour.
Did it just have its 30th anniversary? 25, maybe 25.
25 years, I think it was.
25 years. Transformers, so good. Dan Bush did most of the soundtrack.
That soundtrack's still fire.
Beyond evil, beyond good, beyond your wildest imaginations is the tagline.
Yeah,
so
so good. Kids are running out there crying.
Yep.
Prime gets killed.
Yeah, that was spoilers, bro.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched it, blah 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 blah.
30 years.
It's on you.
What's up? Hot Rod is a bitch for getting Prime killed.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh,
I never, to this day, I can't get behind Hot Rod.
Oh.
Just for
Bow
that
wow,
reason.
Gary, bow wow,
Yeah.
Universal Law. Anyways, so hi, welcome to Back to Banter
Yeah,
Babble.
that was the babble portion of the show. That was the
welcome.
babble portion of it.
Babble.
All right, let's damn spoilers.
I know.
Movie from what, 1985,
Right.
86, I think it was.
Yeah,
that's
Spike's saying shit.
there ain't no spoilers there, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, moving on to the final two topics. The first one is a big
Check
one.
our giveaway.
Oh shit!
Don't forget exclamation mark enter if you want
It's
to
probably like right now.
potentially
It's
win
probably right now.
a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, let me know
17
what shirt you get. Tag me.
JG release one. JG release. You need to
Is that
claim.
tomorrow?
Exclamation mark claim, JG.
JG, you got 9 seconds. Exclamation point claim. Exclamation point claim.
Cancel it and we'll just give it to him.
I can't. Oh, I can I? Canceled.
I think it's Mark Garth, isn't it?
It is.
I think. Yeah.
There we go.
Let me know which one you get, buddy.
All right, there we go.
Oh my god, that's the second one he's won.
Yeah.
He won a couple weeks ago, didn't he?
He did.
All right. Well, there we go. All right.
Sorry guys, we missed the winner of that.
Yeah. Did that not announce? Did not pop up?
Scroll down.
I don't know. I don't think it announced.
We just babbled for like a fucking half hour.
Man, I could get lost. You talking about Lord of the Rings? I am excited for
Yeah,
that.
it didn't announce it, but it was JG release.
That was the rumor.
Oh, here it is. It's here. It's here. 1047.
Oh,
Did you release?
Is he here?
He's right here. Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah,
he got it.
Okay.
Oh, he was at 1048. Yeah, he got it. He's good. All right, cool. There we go. Congrats, JG release. You have won.
Holler at me. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/RohitRaju. I think I'm making it up as I go.
Or
backslash
Wrestling.
/ @
Is it Pro Wrestling T?
Yeah, it's Pro Wrestling T. Oh no, I got it.
.com / Rohit.
I think it's T's as in
TES.
Yeah.
TES, yeah. And choose which shirt you want and size, and then send that
Is
to
it
me
RohitRaju or Rohit?
along with your address if you want.
It's this is it right here. ProWrestlingTees.com.
He's actually showing a picture of his
Rohit.
butt.
Okay. Yeah. That's
OnlyFans.
Those are those
guys.
hams you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like 2 Christmas hams.
Pro Wrestling. I think it's
Spiral cut.
No, I see a Pro Wrestling T.
Honey glaze.
That would not
Sure did, Ant House. That was pretty wild though.
Man, I seriously can't read. Hopefully that works. Let me know if that works, you guys.
You want me to ask
Or
Ant House for
JG,
you now,
that's
by the way?
the link right there,
He's
dude.
here, Beats Man.
Oh no, I'm gonna figure out what I gotta do. What I want to do. Beats man. I will have you though, because I want to figure something out. Because I want to do that protein little like Coot does with the beer. I think I'll do that with protein.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Protein bars and stuff. Like this
Those
one
work,
tastes
yeah.
like shit. Tastes like cardboard. You
Yeah.
might like it.
Why am I out here eating ass again?
All right, moving on.
Finally.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 2.
Man, so good.
This episode was hot, dude.
The Gandalf line killed me.
That
there are 3
entire-
threats.
That
Yes.
entire conversation,
The big 3.
Big 3.
had me freaking out.
Let's talk about it. What I want to get the thoughts right here on the big 3. Obviously the episode was fucking fire. It was awesome. We got a nice reveal at the end. I think they explored some cool stuff in the middle, especially with Isaiah, that character.
That was cool.
That was really powerful shit. Like that was really strong stuff. It's kind of stuff that I don't want to say the MCU has dodged it, but it's the first time they've really kind of explored some of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was, and I thought that they handled it really, really well. And it was really, really good stuff. And I don't even know who that actor is that played Isaiah, but he was incredible.
He's
in
been
that scene.
many things.
I couldn't
Like,
tell
I
if he was
recognized him.
young and they put old makeup on
No,
him.
he was old.
Was
Well,
he?
I think he was
he's
old.
not like super old, but he's definitely done. I recognize him. He's done parts in a lot of fucking movies.
Oh man, I
Definitely
don't know who he
recognize
was,
him.
but he was phenomenal in that scene. And like I said, it was a very powerful scene. And then the interaction between
Yeah.
Sam and Bucky out in the street afterwards was really
Holy
good.
That's all I wanted. I love them in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
I love them in everything they did together, and that's that makes it for me is just the back and forth dialogue
Oh,
between
hell
those
yes.
two.
Hell yes.
It's so funny. And the first, like, that was cool, but then look who gets arrested, and I thought it was like really cool because Sam just kind of sees like he's got it just as bad as I do. Like they think he's a criminal and a war criminal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really
A
cool.
lot of perspective in that.
A lot of
It's
that
unique to that situation.
It was such a good scene. Like I really liked the way they explored, and even the dialogue as Bucky was explaining the things that Isaiah had gone through, and why why he didn't mention them and stuff like that. You're just like, fuck, man, that's some deep shit.
They're exploring so much.
Yeah, we've never explored.
Yeah.
I mean, in the MCU in the movies, we haven't explored like the whole race thing too much.
PTSD.
That's
PTSD,
my
the race stuff. This is like the first time they kind of got into those real life, the things that we're dealing right now with the society. They're exploring some of those things. And I don't know if people are quite ready for it because we haven't seen too much of it in the mainstream movies.
No.
You're in here and all of a sudden you're starting to hear some shit like, oh, this is real life stuff.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they're exploring that. And like you said, you have the chemistry between Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie is so good.
So good.
And we talked about that before the season started. We were like, man, this almost reminds me kind of like Lethal Weapon. Yes, Lethal Weapon is goofy and funny and whatnot, but Murtaugh and Riggs, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, their chemistry was fucking critical. And when we first saw the trailer, like, man, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get that Riggs Murtaugh type of chemistry. Where yes, they butt heads, they might not agree on things, but they do see eye to eye and stuff. And when it comes to kicking ass, that's what they do best.
You mentioned that Civil War thing, and I'm gonna let you go here in a second on that. But that scene in Civil War where in the cars, like, can you put your seat up, or something like that. That was like we didn't realize we were getting a taste of what was coming.
And he's like, oh, I hate you. He's like, you couldn't have done that the whole time.
Even the fight with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was great.
That entire thing with the two of them. Yes. And again, this Disney's just like the Bad Batch, where they plant that seed.
Yeah. The thing I love, Winter Soldier, Bucky's probably one of my favorite characters. Like Winter Soldier, the movie, Cap 2, is
still
probably top 3. I think it might be because that changed the game as far as Marvel movies, in my opinion. But I love his character because you don't really see in the Marvel universe repercussions that deep, that a lot. You know what I mean? You saw Tony Stark go through it a little bit, but then he's back to being like Bucky's so tortured. Like the thing in the first episode where he was crossing off the list. I was like, who's this old Asian guy? And then it was his dad. I was like, oh my god! Like that reveal is gonna be brutal.
Right when they mentioned that, once you piece it together in that first episode, I was like, oh shit, they're exploring some fucking
and it's real shit. And then Sam can't get a loan, even though he just helped save the world, but he can't get a loan because he was off the books for so long. And it's like, man, you never see that real repercussions with stuff like that. And the PTSD stuff, man, that's crazy. Like he's trying to fight through it. He's trying to be a better person. Absolutely loved it. Even like I was like, how am I going to react to this new Captain America? I don't want to say I like the guy, but I do like his story arc.
If people know, I think that we're in for a ride with this character.
And I like it because at first I was like, ooh, like you ain't no Cap. But then it was just like, man, I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Is he going to become who I think he's going to become? And stuff like that. I'm like, man, this has a lot of potential here. And like, I wasn't excited for WandaVision because I like Scarlet Witch. I'm not a big Vision guy, but I still like the show. I thought it was very creative, really well done. But Winter Soldier and Falcon, the whole Cap storyline is like my favorite out of the Marvel. So absolutely. I couldn't wait to sink my teeth into this, and it has not disappointed me. It actually has been better than I thought it was going to be.
The thing that they're really doing good on these shows, and we go back to the Wyatt Russell character, U.S. agent or whatever, John Walker, I think his name is.
Yeah.
You mentioned, they take those moments at the beginning of the show where he's in the gym or in the locker room getting prepared to go out there and do his bit for Good Morning America.
Which is piece by piece from the comic book.
Yes, and he has this conversation with his wife, and he explains why he's nervous about taking up the mantle. And it's scenes like that, and then it's the other scene where he's on the truck with Bucky and Sam, and they're talking about, and again he's going like, look, man, I'm not trying to be Captain America. I'm not trying to make a mock. He's basically saying, I'm not making a mockery of this. I'm not trying to just do this to do this. Like you understand that he's a real person.
But he almost has the big head about him already.
He does have. He does at the end, especially at the end of the episode when he bails out.
Yes,
you really see the cocky side of him. But I mean, you can tell he's conflicted right now. He's in a tough spot. He's trying not to be Captain America, Steve Rogers. He's trying to do his own thing, but he's trying to respect it. But at the same time, like you said, it's kind of going to his head. He's kind of turning into a badass. He's like, look, he knows at this point, and at least he feels like he knows that Bucky and Sam need him.
Yes.
And he's taking. You can see that kind of going to his head.
There's no way that dude's not he's not enhanced with the super serum.
That's what a lot of people are wondering. Does he have?
He already has it. There's
It's
no
all coming
way.
back to Flag Smash. It's all coming back to the broker.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's
all coming back to Emphasis.
Yeah. I know 70 Dungeons is like, did you recognize you see that? I'm like, what do you see?
Yeah.
Emphasis. I'm like, right away I could tell it's Emphasis.
I'm like, why they got this poor girl doing the same exact role?
I know. I mean,
it's
except
cool,
this one, she's
but
actually bad though.
I don't think she is. I don't think they are. I don't think they're bad guys in this. Yeah.
Oh, you mean are you talking about the terrorists?
Well, I guess when you look, it's all about perspective at the end of the day.
Yes.
Emphasis Nest, at least in Star Wars, they were working for the rebellion, which
Right.
are a bunch of terrorists, anyways. But now in this, when you think about it, Imperial for life. You're right. She is doing the same role. I digress. You're right.
And much like the first episode, this episode
Right.
has a
I think
fucking
about it.
awesome action sequence on top of two trucks.
Dude,
Again,
there's
we're not.
been a lot of the trailers.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we saw this coming in, but I mean, when
But
you see the
holy
whole thing
shit,
play out, even then, you're not prepared for it. I mean, this is again high octane, high production value, movie quality shit going on.
Hands
here,
down
Morty.
movie quality.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Some handmade quality shit here, Morty. This is really good stuff. But no, awesome action, and then you've got these storylines that are kind of growing, that are touching on real life themes. I mean, I liked WandaVision as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is more grounded in reality, which
Yes.
is much of what I liked about Civil War. I mean, it was
That's why
Civil War
my
was like
thing.
an espionage thriller. Yes, it was a superhero movie, but it had all the makings of an espionage, like political thriller, so to speak. And that's what we're kind of getting here. And by doing that, you're able to focus on more real life stuff. And so far, they've hit on some themes that are very kind of like mature for what we've seen mostly in all the mainstream.
And I'm really
Dig
torn
that.
because like when I hate to compare the two because I know it's going to always happen.
It's gonna be really hard to compare.
It's going to be hard not to.
Oh right, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But because I agree, like when I say Winter Soldier is my favorite, movie. The Cap storyline, like even the first Cap movie is one of my favorites because like even though Cap isn't my favorite comic book character or maybe an Avenger, I love that character so much. I love his story. I love the Red Skull. I love all that background. I love punching Nazis. I love all that thought process. So
thanks,
that
Andy.
that gets me so hyped. So for me, like this is definitely exceeding my expectations because I personally am a big Sebastian Stan fan. Because,
You're a Sebastian Stan.
Exactly. Because I keep saying he's such a fan of himself, of being in the MCU. He's excited to have this role. He's very, very thankful for it. I think he wants that shield someday.
Yeah.
I think all that stuff. But the WandaVision for me, that mysticism, I'm a big fan of that shit.
Yeah.
I like Vision
The
a lot.
cosmic stuff.
I love all that exactly. So it's to me it's like two different things kind of running at the same pace, like the Bluetron bike and the red one. They're just kind of both going at the same time.
It is. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And I love both of them, but it's hard not to fall into that. But it when you're watching them, you're getting so much enjoyment because you're seeing these characters, Falcon and Bucky interact, and they've got such a good chemistry that you can't not love how much. That's a double negative, but you can't either way get enough of the two of them.
I can't wait to see what they do with Zemo. You can see him in the background with the
Yes,
mask on. When I saw him walking with it in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, they're giving us that!" Like, I'm really excited.
That's what we saw at the end of the episode. They were walking. We're going to talk to Zemo. Yep. I was like, "Oh shit!" And there we are. We get to see him in the cell.
Well, then you get to see like who does have the super serum? How many people?
Who's pulling the string?
Right? Well, it's the power broker, right?
The broker is the big piece of this.
It's like I can't. I think that's like was an old like side villain, but
there's a lot.
It could be.
They're reaching into some Easter egg baskets,
which I love. I absolutely love that.
Tricky says this week's episode will be the longest episode.
I can't wait for that.
I mean, what were the first one was what 48 minutes?
And then
they're almost an hour long.
Almost. Was it 49 the last one?
Yeah, I think so. And if we're getting 6 episodes, like I keep saying,
it's got to be longer. It's got to be longer than
an hour.
I'm fine with that. Like I'm hoping going off a little bit with the Obi-Wan series is like that. I think we're only supposed to get 6 episodes, but if it's like 45 minutes,
I'm gonna guess at this point if they're doing it like this.
Yeah, give me that because that's almost like it's a trilogy, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Am I right on that? Because you're getting it's almost a trilogy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're getting longer stuff. You get more content, and you talked about like comparing this to WandaVision and stuff. I mean, WandaVision, which I feel like was a much more thought provoking show.
Yes,
there's a lot more thought there. I don't want to say this one isn't thought provoking, but I feel like this one is a nice palate cleanser to what we got with WandaVision.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah, WandaVision was thought provoking, cosmic. Very sci-fi, and then you bring it back to that gritty reality. It's a nice if they play well off one another,
and that's going to be good because Loki's going to be more like WandaVision, and they always have cosmic level threat and earthly based threat.
Yeah,
so that's
even more like a mysticism was like the WandaVision with like the witches and stuff like that, and then maybe we'll get more cosmic or maybe more mysticism with Loki. I'm guessing probably more cosmic because
I think he's gonna be a mix of. I think his is gonna be more focused on time.
Yeah, and I guess comedy. It'd probably be funny.
Oh, he's got it. Look, Loki's got
Hiddleston's
that dark underlining humor.
Well, not yet. Hiddleston's a funny guy. Like
in the trailer, seemed like it was more like tongue in cheek.
Well, I mean, you've also got Owen Wilson in it. Wow.
Is Owen Wilson in the show?
I do remember him in the trailer.
He's like one of the main guys working with him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Owen Wilson was in it. Oh wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So, I'm excited for tomorrow because if it's a long episode compared to the other ones, then
that's gonna be. I'm really happy with what we got from this episode. Like I said, I like the chemistry between the two leads. The storylines that they're opening up. I love the touch on mature themes that are affecting society today. It's just a nice change of pace,
and they do it without beating you over the head.
Yeah, exactly. It's very subtle.
There. Yeah, it's like you don't need to beat me over the head with your issues.
When he was like, "Oh, you're Black Falcon," he's, "Well, I gotta be Black Falcon." What are you, Black Kid?
What are you, Black Kid?
I thought that was so good.
Pretty fucking good.
When he goes, "Oh, you're all stealth now. What are you, like the White Panther?" He's like, "No, I'm the White
Wolf."
White Wolf. I thought
Yep.
that was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great series so far. I really like where they're going with it. But I mean, I think this episode, if it's gonna be the longest episode, obviously we're gonna see Baron Zemo. This could be like the big one for the season. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I'll probably watch this series if it continues to go the trajectory that it's going. I bet you I'll be like, okay, like the Mandalorian. It'll be on in the background while I'm doing whatever during the day, or I'll just sit down and watch it and pick out what I missed.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna go through watching multiple
episodes twice.
Yeah, and I have. I each one I've watched twice, and I'm just such a fan of these two characters. I honestly can't wait for tomorrow.
It's gonna be dope. All right, let's move on to the final and the big topic. Tricky Region. Make sure you're in standby mode. You'll be brought on momentarily.
Booth guy, can we get him in the green room, please? Over.
We'll get him in the green room. Get him ready to go. But first up, or finally, we are going to talk about the big movie release of probably the year. I'd say this is the first, other than the Snyder Cut, Godzilla vs. King Kong. It is out. We've seen it. We've watched it. It's doing incredibly well with critics, sitting at about a 79 or 80 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a cinema score of an A, which is very, very high for a movie like this. So, I mean, fans are loving it. Critics are loving it. It's a huge hit. I'm going to go over to Rohit first.
Me first?
Yes, because I feel like you might have some different thoughts on this. But what was your thoughts, man? Kong vs. Godzilla.
For me, it was a one and done.
One and done?
I honestly thought a lot of... Now, obviously, I loved all the stuff with Kong and Godzilla. I was kind of bummed because I felt like Godzilla was the side character in this. I enjoyed the fights between them. The fights were amazing, and the fights with Mechagodzilla was so cool. I actually wanted more Mechagodzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I love how his roar was very distinct and almost similar. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That small detail to me was amazing.
Yep.
And then granted, I know you're going to have a human element, and I never care about the human element in the movies, but I just thought the human element in these movies was so, and I used this phrase earlier, paint by numbers. I thought this was a paint by numbers movie. I did not care about the relationship between him and that girl, the little girl. I gave two shits about the side story with
Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh my God. I honestly, I thought that
Paper
humor...
boy from Atlanta.
That humor was so forced. I didn't think it was funny at all. The villain in the thing was so cliche, and I understand that it's not about them, but I'll use this as an example. I did not like Kong Skull Island.
Okay,
I thought
Which
it was
is
very
weird to hear, by the way, everybody.
I thought it was very cheesy. I thought it was popcorn, compared to the Godzilla movies, where the Godzilla movies did have a human element. Like in the second Godzilla movie, I loved. I didn't care about like the family element. I didn't care about them at all. But it wasn't like so cheesy and forced to me. And the Godzilla movies had more of a serious tone.
Sure.
To where because you can, I understand it's about giant monsters fighting, but it doesn't mean it has to be cheesy and corny. There's ways you can make, The Host is about a giant monster.
That's a good one. Host
and
is
is
awesome.
a fantastic movie, period. It's a fantastic movie.
It's a
It's a Korean one. And it's a fantastic movie. And so when people always try to use the excuse, well, it's a movie about giant monsters fighting. The Host was a movie about a giant monster. Cloverfield was a movie about a giant monster.
Cloverfield was fucking
very
awesome.
serious movie.
It doesn't get enough love.
Godzilla, the first two Godzilla movies were, to me, had a very serious tone, where I thought this movie was really summer blockbuster cheese. And I was like, well, there was things I liked about it, and there's a lot of things I didn't. And for me, it was a one and done, unfortunately. I'm glad people enjoyed it, because maybe they'll have more. But I'm hoping if they do have more, they go back to the way, because I loved how I don't want to say dark, but the tone in the second Godzilla was it was not as ha. Like when they show the first scene, it's just Kong chilling with the music playing. I was like, oh man, don't tell me this is how this movie's going to be. And it was. And that was the tone throughout. And for me, it just wasn't for me. I just didn't care for it like that. There was things I really liked about it. But man, I just thought, like, when he had the axe and he put the axe in the thing and I was like, God, this is so, like, this is too much for me. And I just didn't care about that. But
Gotcha.
That's me. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Tone, over to you.
Actually, there are some things I actually do agree with that. I actually don't. Why didn't Charles Barkley show up?
I will spit out my water.
Why didn't Charles Barkley show up to dunk on Kong?
I will spit out my water reading.
Cuddles, will you block out Blanco for a month?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Holy shit, that was great. I forgot about that.
So I was talking. Now I consider myself a Godzilla super fan. Okay, I, however, have somebody out there that's a next level. Like, I don't know what level that would be, but they're like convention level. Like they go to the one in Chicago before. You know, I can't remember what it's called. Whatever that's called. G something. But you know, we had quite an extensive conversation last night after I watched the film, and I really enjoyed the film. I actually liked the fantasy elements. I liked the Hollow Earth stuff. I really enjoyed a lot of that.
I thought that was
there was a lot of stuff like that. It was cool. The axe thing definitely was a little bit of cringy, like a fit into the floor. Like how was all that built? Was that an ancient civilization? Like, I want to explore that, and we can kind of get into that a little bit later. I got a hypothesis on some of that. But I still enjoyed the film, but I was definitely I don't know how to say this. I don't think I still like King of the Monsters out of all of them the best.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
I love the soundtrack. I love the fact that Ghidorah's in it, that Rodan's got the best theme music out of everybody in all these films. The fact that Mothra's involved, and you know, this was a lead up for 5 years or so since Kong Skull Island. We knew it was going to come to this, and it was definitely a little bit more campier than the rest. It was definitely a little bit more tongue in cheek, and I think that was kind of part of, I guess, maybe the plan, because how else are you going to lead into it? And maybe I'm wrong on that. I do agree there could have been a little bit level of more seriousness. I was disappointed in the fact that Kong got more limelight than Godzilla as a Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
I like Kong. Kong's great. I actually love Skull Island. I watched all the movies recently, of course, before this came out. I think Skull Island's great. Like, I can see how somebody might not like some of the campy jokes. I actually dig that shit. I really love the little stuff, especially with John C. Reilly having, like, For Your Health kind of on the back of his jacket to be like, you know, Stephen Brule and stuff like that. But I didn't mind any of the stuff like that. That movie was definitely much more campy. You're right. 2014 Godzilla, people criticized really heavily from, and here's the thing, and I'm not trying to be pretentious about this when I say this, but as somebody who's been watching old school OG Godzilla films for a long time, 2014 really followed the actual true Toho formula. I know people don't care about the human element, everybody. I understand that. I know everybody complains about that. I understand that. However, the human elements have always been there since 1954. They're always going to be there. Whether they're campy or not, they are a bridge for the story. Like, you can forget about them. They can suck. And listen, even some of the old ones were not great. Like even some of El Blanco, even the episode with King Caesar, you don't care about the fucking humans. You just don't. You really don't. It's really bad and campy. I think 2014 was honestly the strongest of all of them from that side. Kong Skull Island was kind of cool because of the military side of it and how they're building Monarch at an early level. But 2014 was very, very well grounded in that entire, like, if you were taking it from Toho and you're giving it to Legendary and they're saying, this is what we're doing, we're trying to ground it in some reality. It was done very well. You had your, and I'm going to try to keep this packaged in a little bit better, but you had your scientist, you had Sir Kurosawa, which I'm pretty sure that was his son.
It had to have been.
Be his son.
I mean, his last name was Kurosawa.
Right.
Kurosawa.
You had the scientist, you had the military guy, and then you had, you kind of had the military guy, but it was also the home guy and the, him and Elizabeth Olsen, having their different paths to kind of help push everything. Because while Godzilla, because they're big monsters, the big kaiju, yes, you see that in the posters, that's the big draw, right? They are not the center part of the story. I don't care who you are. They are never the center part of the story. It's deeper than that. It's always metaphors. It's about how humankind has treated the Earth. It's about nuclear weapons, whatever you want to say. It's always there's always a moral layered in there. It was harder to find in this movie than some of the past ones. KOTM I think was more about family in general. 2014 did a great job of. People complained they didn't see Godzilla enough. You had guys like Bryan Cranston in the cast, and they wanted more Bryan Cranston, and he did a great job when he was in it. And you barely saw Godzilla from what everybody said, and it was they made them mad. KOTM gives you more Godzilla, and they still complain about it because now that they're fighting too much. Now this movie comes out.
Favorite. That was why I liked
yeah,
it so
yeah,
much.
me too, honestly. And now this one comes out, and everybody's still, it's getting better ratings. But I think this is a different thing. Everybody is stuck at home more. You can't go to theaters. Everybody there's more eyes on this now. You're gonna like watching this. The graphics were great in this one. The CG, everything was great about this. It really looked really, really good. The fantasy stuff looked really great, especially too. There's more people that got eyes on this. 3 years ago, when KOTM came out, probably a small portion of the chat would have never paid money like me day one to go see this in the theater or see it twice, which I did. Now you're home. You're gonna watch it on HBO because you got HBO.
Right.
And everybody's watching it, talking about it. Now you're gonna watch it, and you're like, oh shit, this is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my world, and it's been my world for fucking years. You know what I'm saying? So, the human element is never going to please everybody, and I get that. But they need to be there. That said, the human element in this one was definitely one of the weakest, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It wasn't great. I like Millie Bobby Brown's character in it, but she was very less compelling than the last movie. She was
way less, yeah. Absolutely.
Completely. Even her father was barely in this movie.
Yeah, they're like we'll
talk about
listen,
that.
I like the Hollow Earth shit. I thought that was fucking gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all of that. There's definitely some plot holes in this movie, and don't get me wrong, like you said, even the villain was kind of like paint by numbers. A lot of this movie definitely was paint by numbers. And if you recall last night when I said something to you, I said something about the pacing felt off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your paint by numbers is a good way of putting that. I think it felt like it was more, I don't know if it was reserved or what it was. There was just something off about the movie for me. I enjoyed it because
I feel like they played it.
Godzilla.
Like they tried to play it safe or something. I don't know why, but
which is funny because they're in the middle of the earth, and it looks like you're in God of War 3 climbing up Gaia's back or some shit.
Yeah,
Which is fucking fine. It was cool. That entire thing, even the sci-fi, the fantasy was so ratcheted compared to the others. I think that's almost what threw me off. For me, I'm eating that shit up. It's like, where's Will Ferrell? Lost in Time or Space or whatever that fucking show. You know what I mean?
Lost.
Yeah. I'm fine on that. But it almost like they talked about Hollow Earth for so long.
Mm-hmm.
John Goodman was talking about it in Skull Island. You've heard about this so long that it was almost like, while I enjoyed the fantasy, it was almost like it was too much, maybe. And I want more of that background, and I'm hoping again that Monarch TV series that's rumored to happen on HBO or wherever it's going to be.
Oh, nice, that'd be cool.
That's been rumored, and then they can explore some of that shit because you need that kind of Disney Plus feel to where, hey, we got these 4 great movies out there with kaiju, it's the MonsterVerse, but let's explain stuff better. Let's give Baron Zemo his mask. So let's talk about the Hollow Earth a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's where Kong's hanging out.
So it's kind of like your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're focusing on Monarch. You're focusing on a division that's exploring everything that's going on.
So let's get into that. But overall, yes, I enjoyed the movie. The human element didn't bother me. Because you try watching some of the movies from the fucking 60s and 70s when you're talking Godzilla, and you're talking human elements, and you're talking people that are masking as aliens that are calling Gigan and fucking King Ghidorah to fucking Earth, right? So you have to suspend some of that, but it definitely wasn't as strong as some of the other ones. I enjoyed Mechagodzilla's look. Definitely was not pleasing for me at all.
Really?
It was too. It went for too much realism and looked too much like Godzilla. I wanted more of the some of the look from like the early 90s and stuff like that, when they kind of remodernized him from the 60s version of him. I wanted that Mechagodzilla 2 look. I wanted more of like I want him to look more like a Toho, almost stiff, kind of like I wanted him to be a little bit more robotic in some sense. And so that was kind of a disappointing. I thought all that was cool, but whether it was needed or not, I think is definitely is questionable. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that Mechagodzilla needed to be in this, but it was kind of cool to see the camaraderie with the two of them. Again, we missed out a lot of the backstory on the past, and you can tell that they work together, or like their species. But you know, it lived up to my expectations, and I had a good time with it, and I'll definitely watch it, and I'll enjoy it. I enjoy all these movies, but I'm definitely, there's a lot of scrutiny. I gotta watch it a second time. I'll end it at that. I need to watch it a second time. I need to scrutinize a little bit deeper, and you know, maybe someday we'll talk about some more of that stuff. But I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as bad as some of the stuff that some people are complaining about. I think there's some perspective there for realization of what the product is coming from. But I'm glad to see at the end of the day. I think KOTM gets a lot of fucking hate, and I hope people revisit that now, because I don't think it deserved any of the hate that it got.
No, I don't think so.
Compared to this, I still think if I had to rate all these movies in a row, 4 of them, King of the Monsters is still number 1 for me of this entire series. I would say Kong Skull Islands 2, 2014 Godzilla is where it fits, and then this would rank last in them overall.
Did you notice that the axe, I think, was like a Godzilla fin?
Yeah, it was. Yep, absolutely.
I'm gonna be the loser here. I'm gonna say this is my favorite one out of the whole series. This was easily my favorite of the whole
that's
series.
It for Banter Babble. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, don't invite me ever again. Thanks.
No, it really was. I feel like this was like the perfect balance of everything that I've been wanting out of these movies, and which is weird because I mentioned this last night. When Godzilla 2014 came out, I thought it was a fucking awesome movie. Loved it. I loved the Bryan Cranston element. I loved all the story, the human stuff. I did not have an issue.
The story is the strongest of all of them with that one.
Oh, absolutely, by far. But then, you know, I watched it. I was like, this is so good. And people were complaining about not being enough Godzilla. And I was like, well, I can understand that, but it was still enough for me. I was like, this is a nice balance. But then Kong Skull Island came out, and I was like, this is really good. I like Kong Skull Island a lot. I thought Kong Skull Island was fucking awesome. I was like,
really
you know what? I like the humor. I like the humor. I like that they still had John Goodman. And I mean, it helps that you have credible actors explaining this stuff, because they can carry you through scenes. If you didn't have Sam Jackson in this, if you didn't have John Goodman in that, I don't know if a lot of those scenes would work.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because these are credible actors that are explaining ludicrous stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is ludicrous. I mean, it's like this isn't real. But you have credible actors doing their thing, making the story go forward so you can get to the next Kong encounter. I was cool with that. Had some humor. It was campy a little bit at times, but there was plenty of Kong. There was just enough story with good actors. I was like, this is the perfect fucking balance. Then you get over to King of the Monsters. Yes, there was a ton of battling. There wasn't a whole lot of human stuff, but at that point, I was already sold. You know what? Look, I'm cool with the ludicrous plots. I'm cool with the
fantasy. Yeah.
Yes, I am cool with this stuff. And yet, you have more good actors and actresses in this movie. King of the Monsters. You had Charles Dance, Vera Farmiga. You had Kyle Chandler.
Where the fuck was Charles Dance?
He was. I have a lot of questions about who was missing from this one.
Yeah.
Charles Dance was missing. A lot of the fucking monsters that were bound down to Godzilla at the end of that were absent. And wasn't most of the fucking world destroyed?
Yes, it was.
But
and their tech was like,
here's some of the plot holes coming up, everybody.
2060 tech almost.
I mean, if you want to sit there and analyze everything, I mean, the world was completely wiped out. There's a lot of people missing. Charles Dance, wasn't he part of Apex?
He was like
the man.
Well, he might have been like. Well, he might. So my guess
was he
is
a rogue Apex person.
No, my guess is he's like their liaison or their mercenary version.
Their muscle.
Yeah, they're the Apex muscle.
Yeah, and so anyway, exactly. So, you know, watching that, you have good actors that are just there. Honest to God, man, Millie Bobby Brown, all these characters, all these actors are good. I wouldn't have fucking cared if they were killed off in the first 5 minutes. I am there to see King Ghidorah, Mothra, all these. I want to see all of them battle.
Mm-hmm.
And they had just enough story with really, really good characters, people that have screen presence to move you along. And then you go over to this one. My issue with this one in terms of the story stuff is you have these good actors, but Kyle Chandler's in this movie for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Reddick is the fucking director of Monarch. He has 3 lines.
That's it.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
He shows up and he says, yes, they're over here doing this. And then it's it. You're like, oh my God, that's it for Lance Reddick? That's all I'm going to get?
Why put his name in the credits?
Why is he in this movie?
Yeah.
I want to know how many scenes of his were cut. There's no way you bring Lance Reddick on
Shit,
for
Kong versus Godzilla
for,
cut.
for literally 3 lines
Yeah.
to talk to Kyle
Yeah,
Chandler.
yeah.
So you have all these great actors and people that have screen presence, maybe not A-listers, but they're people that you see in movies like, I dig that.
Right. You got to draw an audience.
You have these people, again, like you mentioned, they're just a catalyst to get to the next battle. Okay, bridge it together, move us to the next
Yeah,
battle.
because Godzilla can't talk, by the way, everybody.
Right, and then I know you guys mentioned, you felt like Godzilla was kind of like the a side piece in this movie, and I agree with that to an extent because Godzilla at the beginning, he shows up, he wipes out the Apex Center, and everyone's like, oh, he's a bad guy again. But the problem with that is like I kind of understood, like, look, and they mentioned 1,000 times something provoked him, something made him.
Yeah,
do
they
this.
knew it. They knew it.
And yeah, it's
Mono
easy to
too.
make him a bad guy, but it's also better in movies where a character can fucking talk and you can understand his motives a little bit better. You can't really do much with Godzilla
Why you
other than
have
to have
humans.
Right. Well, I mean, even to a degree though, he's gonna show up, he wipes everything out. There's not a whole lot he can do to convey like, hey, look, they're up to some bullshit. He shows up, wipes stuff out, and then there's the battle with Kong, and you kind of get a couple scenes where it's almost like, especially when they have the battle in Hong Kong, and and Kong gets wiped out, and Godzilla steps on him and yells at him. It's almost like in that scene, he's like, look, I'm not here to fuck with you, because he could have killed Godzilla right there. He had Godzilla, or he had King Kong on the ground, could have killed him instantly, and all he did was yell at him. It's almost like he was saying, I'm not here for you, bro.
Right.
There's something else here, and it's not you. And that's why I feel like he can't say that, but that's just the way I interpret it, because why didn't he kill him right there? He had him on his back.
So, and not to get too sidetracked, but so why did he fucking nuclear breath all the way down to where the center of the
I didn't get that.
At all.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
That was a really shitty plot.
My thing about the human element, I just thought it was horrible.
Oh, I mean,
I thought like that dude was it was like they were trying to do Marvel humor, and it's like, no.
Oh, the Brian Terrell.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I love Brian Terrell. I think he's
I
a great
thought it
actor.
was shit. I was just like, this dude's not funny in this movie.
He was trying to be the
But
crazy
it's
guy.
just, but I mean,
Yeah, but that was the thing. They had like, you had the human element in it was so cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least in Kong, the human element in the first one was great. I just wanted more Godzilla.
Say Mothra.
And then in the second one, it wasn't that bad. There was like the family drama. I didn't care about the family drama, but it was well acted.
Right.
This one, I didn't think it was not well acted. Like none of it was. Like the one guy's daughter, oh, she was the typical side villain. You know what I mean?
The guy, the corporate apex.
Yeah, and it was like everything they did was just horrible. Like to me,
it's cliche.
It was just horribly done.
And I get. I think the cliche is fine. I think like when you talk like the Millie Bobby Brown piece at that point, like she didn't need to be in this movie. You didn't need any of that.
You didn't need any
But
of
you
that.
can't have, but you can't have some no name running through it. I mean, it makes it appealing to kind of, like you said, it just makes those scenes as empty as they are.
Right.
Yeah, I thought they were
nothing
so
to-
empty
but-
that they just didn't matter.
But here's the thing, though, I mean, how much human stuff can you really get to this point in the movie, in this series of movies? You have a giant lizard and a giant gorilla bashing.
My thing is, if you're gonna have human stuff, at least like in the first one,
Try, you mean like at least
try to make
Okay,
it
okay.
mean something, or have the actors not be so. They were just so soulless in it, and it was just like, I don't know if it was the director, and he's doing Thundercats. So I'm just
Adam
like,
Wingard's doing something. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's animated, by the way.
Yeah, huh?
It's animated. It's not live action.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that might be.
I actually thought he did a pretty good job. I actually thought Wingard did good with this movie. I mean, I love a lot of the set pieces.
Yeah.
This like we mentioned,
Yeah.
the
I
CGI.
thought the ending was really quick.
Oh yeah, it was fast.
I thought it was just like boom, 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 and then like this motherfucker. I know Godzilla was like, if they do another one, there has to be like some type of repercussions, because like obviously he was. You can blame Apex for that, but you'll have a. It's if they make it anything.
Oh, he like
close.
waits to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I was like, this motherfucker killed people.
Right,
Like,
right. Oh, yeah.
There has to
Well,
be
people
some
don't-
type of.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Did they? I mean, Lance Reddick was like, well, we're evacuating everyone. Is that just at this point in this movie? Is like, can you just say everyone's evacuated, nobody's around? But we did see
Maybe.
scenes where people running around, so obviously were casualties.
My thing was, I know we're always going to have human element, but if you look at the way that they went from each movie to movie, at least the Godzilla movies, I just think that the human element was not well done.
I just wonder if it's
all.
difficult to really like keep that mature. Like, I mean, I don't want to say like Godzilla 2014 was like the smartest movie ever made, but I mean, they tried to go realistic, tried to go gritty with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, how far can you really take that when you introduce a 3-headed dragon in Kingdom of the Monsters and you got Mothra? I mean,
Right.
how much?
It's still a fantasy.
It's still fantasy at the end of the day, but you had just Godzilla.
I
You had
agree
one
with
thing
that,
against the
but, like-
radioactive stuff. But I mean, then when you get to this point,
How camp are you
Yeah,
going to go,
yeah.
though? When does it become a parody of itself?
well, I guess I mean, maybe the reason they went with that is because they looked at Kong at Kong Skull Island and it did so well critically.
Did that one do better than?
Oh, dude, I mean,
Kong
Godzilla
Skull World
movies?
is better than the other three before this one.
Oh man,
So, I mean,
that's why
people-
they did that.
people-
And that's why Godzilla was a side piece in this, probably, because Kong they
Well,
probably
I mean, I
viewed
don't
it
know.
as money.
KOTM came out after Kong, and it was Kong wasn't in the movie until the end credits. You know,
Which one did better though?
Oh, I mean,
Kong Skull Island did better than all
of them
from 2014 and KOTM.
That's probably why
I
they
think
did.
KOTM did worse out of all of them. I don't think
That was my favorite
which is kind of telling. It's kind
Yeah,
of weird.
I don't think that one
sucks.
I don't think that one even surpassed 2014 Godzilla because I think 2014 Godzilla was through the roof.
And KOTM was
that
filled
was
with
kind
so
of
many
like the
fucking
first.
Easter eggs. It was really like it's kind of like how Solo was a fanboy's wet dream because it was all like hardcore Easter eggs. and
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, KOTM was.
That's a
stacked like
bummer.
that.
So that actually makes more sense why Kong was pushed to the forefront because that's their money.
Well, I think because Kong also hasn't been around except for one movie, they wanted more Kong. And honestly, like you couldn't traverse like the Hollow Earth and do the Hollow thing if you were Godzilla as easy because
Yeah.
Kong's like jumping around and moving around fast and moving off like
But that's
gravity.
that's also probably why they did more campy and summer blockbuster feel because
Because of
that's all
Kong.
Skull Island
Yeah.
Well, it was
was.
supposed to come out last summer, wasn't it?
No, I just mean like the
I'm
way
just-
it was
well,
like
to
the
generalize what you're
tone
saying.
the tone of it was
What I do.
Mm-hmm.
more funny haha instead of like let's be serious.
And I do
I,
think
mean,
they.
I enjoyed the more serious aspect of and tone of the Godzilla movies than I did the funny
The
haha.
thing I think what they did with Kong Skull Island too is I don't want to say they humanized him, but they gave him a little bit more depth than Godzilla. Godzilla, in the first couple of Godzilla movies, in the first two, he was just, he helped, but I don't think he had as much depth as Kong. I think it's easier for them when they create Kong in CGI. It's easier to make him more.
Well, it makes sense because of facial expressions.
And plus they established early that he's kind of like cool with the people that are living on Skull Island.
Even in Skull Island, yeah. But
like,
with the little girl, he's communicating.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I don't want to say he's more humanized, but he's obviously more in touch with humans.
Right.
Where Godzilla is just kind of a wrecking ball. We see that in the first one. We see it in Kingdom of the Monsters. Even though he helps, Kong is more sympathetic, more understanding of stuff. So I feel like that's an easier character for them to focus on because everyone's like, well, hey, Kong's a nice guy, and it's also easier when you focus on Kong as kind of more of the good guy. It's easier to depict Godzilla as a bad guy, which they're trying to do here in this movie.
Well, they're kind of
before
trying to
Mecha Godzilla shows up.
They're trying to
Apex
make
is
you
up to.
think that he's yeah, right.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the day, it's I'm not watching this to try to find a thought provoking who done it. I'm here to watch these two guys duke it out, and in the three battles that we get, they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're really
incredible.
The battles were great.
that fight on the fucking
aircraft carrier. Oh my
was
god,
sweet.
that shit was
Fucking
dope, man.
That was
That
dope
shit was
as hell.
dope. Yeah.
I just definitely while I don't take a lot of issue with the human stuff, I'll definitely nitpick, and I can sit here talk about this for hours about all this shit, this movie. But again, keep in mind I enjoyed the movie. Excuse me, I wanted a little bit more serious tone from the humans as well too.
Yep.
I felt like I was fine with everything else they did. I was even fine with the Apex guy being kind of campy. But some of the other little stuff in between, I think Millie Bobby Brown's that entire party was completely.
They were there
worthless.
simply for screen presence.
And that alone, I think is my guess is if you were talking everybody, that was probably the worst part about those movies, and that's where people are.
I would agree with that. I would say it was the weakest of the human stories.
There was no. I was reading because I thought it was going to be an after credit scene, and apparently there wasn't. Was because the guy had said, Adam Wingard had said that they didn't. They needed to see if it was going to.
Blanco 98.
Oh man, you got to get blocked, dude.
That's bait.
You're gonna,
El Blanco.
That's bait.
El Blanco.
That's bait.
You'll have to get they didn't want to do an end credit scene because they wanted to see how well people would respond to this one, and if
See if they want to continue it or
they're
not.
going to continue it. And he said if he contradicted himself because he said the end credit scene was actually we would just put it in the movie, but then he said, well, if we had left it as an end credit scene, it would have hinted at another movie, and he goes, we didn't want to hint at another movie in case we weren't going to do it.
Do you think that it's simply because of the situation we're in right now with COVID, because this thing's not going to be at theaters?
I think.
It's at
King of the
theaters,
Monsters.
but I mean,
yeah, I was going to say more King of the
gotta be
Monsters.
more of the King, because it didn't do so
because King of the
well.
Monsters went all out as far as
internationally, that
like
movie was fucking
Monsterverse.
great.
Oh, did it do
But
great overseas?
The problem is it's always going to be over here in the Western market.
Yeah.
It's always going to be over here.
Right.
Like
That's
that's
a
why.
bummer.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, at the end of the day, I thought it was a sweet movie. Like, I loved it. I had a blast through it. And shout out to the scene that I seriously stood up and was just like, "That's fucking awesome." When Kong and Godzilla are duking it out in Hong Kong, and Godzilla like throws up Kong against a building, and he separates his shoulder, and moments later, Kong stands up and does the Martin Riggs off a building to put his shoulder back into place. When that popped up, I was like, "That's the scene of the year."
It's so amazing.
He stands up, looks at a skyscraper, and just puts his shoulder, and I was like, Martin
and
Riggs.
all I
dude.
could think about was Lethal Weapon, and me and dude after that, all I could think about was like saving that for tonight. But should have known, as always, the dude would have picked up on that.
Man, that's amazing. When he did, I was like, "That's fucking Martin Riggs."
So for that one to also go with the battle at the end, WB publishes both Mortal Kombat.
And
he pulls out the head and fucking spine and looks up.
Yep.
And all I can see is fucking
Fatality.
Yep, fatality. That was very cool. Very campy, but very cool. The last thing I'll say, and maybe we can get is Trick wanting to jump in here for a hot minute?
Trick, yeah, Trick, are you there? Trick,
I
I want to
we've-
get you on.
We've drawn this out for a long time. The last thing I want to say is to anybody out there that's a Godzilla fan or a kaiju fan or anything like that, was that small little campy looking Littlefoot face in Hollow Earth, was that in some form of special nod to either Anguirus, or was that, which I would love to think, and it's a stretch, was that a Gamera reference? Because that was pretty interesting to see. There's that. Do you remember
face? I remember the face.
He's jumping around across that plane and getting to that mountain, and there's this like turtle-esque lizard-looking thing that just kind of like the big fish, little fish.
that killed him.
Ass smiles at the screen.
Yeah,
because everybody's been complaining we don't see Anguirus in any of these movies, or there's been a lot of speculation that at some point maybe somebody in the Western market would pick up Gamera.
I think if it was a Gamera one, he would have had the. I don't think he had the.
Maybe,
tusks.
but he was a turtle, so he wouldn't have necessarily, or some sort of lizard.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna bring on Tricky Region to get his thoughts
That's a good Easter egg.
on Godzilla. Tricky,
stretching,
we are
but I
bringing
want
you
that to be
on.
Easter egg.
Let's see if you're in there. You might want to unmute your mic. There he is, Tricky Region. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, fellas?
Whew. Man, this thing is really loud. Hey, Tricky, turn down the video.
How's that?
You there,
Jordy?
I can't hear you in the Discord.
Holy cow, it's really loud.
King season for life, Blanco.
Discord is really loud. Sorry, go ahead, Tricky.
A lot, King.
Tricky, you there?
Me?
There you go. Now we got
Can't hear
you.
you.
Yeah, you're good, buddy. What's going on?
Hold on here.
We're still figuring this Discord thing out. It's very tricky.
Tricky.
Like tricky.
I can't hear you guys, but I'll just say it real quick.
It sounds like a CB radio.
What up, Rohit?
Or a Krusty Burger drive-through.
Big fan, man. I got to thank Tone for
You speaking alien?
introducing me to you. It's been a cool year since I started watching these guys.
Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts, brother. Hold your hang on. We're having audio issues.
I'm wrong about.
Or, I'm sorry, Kong. It was awesome.
Oh, he's
I
saying.
disagree with the dude tonight, but he stole my thunder. So it was great. I loved it. That's pretty much really all I can say about it. So I can't hear you guys talking, so I'll go ahead and jump back on and just listen to what you guys have to say.
Before you leave, repeat what you said. Oh no, he bounced out. He said he loved it. He said he did. I think he said he disagreed with you. And he said I'm awesome.
No, I think that's the opposite.
No, that's
No,
what
I
he
think he
did.
liked it.
No, he said it was the best movie ever, and he said you're nuts.
I am nuts.
You
But
are
don't-
He said he actually
don't-
disagreed with the dude tonight, right?
Don't be a mark.
Or what did it say? Hey, sorry about that, Trick. Yeah, we're having some audio issues.
Tricky,
tonight.
we had some,
I'm not sorry about that at all if you disagreed with me. Good.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Tricky, if you can, in the chat. I apologize, man. I don't know what's going on. It was super loud, but what did you agree with him, or did you disagree with me, or what did you say? I couldn't pick out what you said. Type it up real quick. We want to get your thoughts, man.
We appreciate all of y'all able to hang on tonight for an extra extended long show.
I agreed with
Special-
the
Whoa, this guy is one great Godzilla circle jerk.
Yeah. See, I agree
One
with the
kaiju
dude. I
circle
told you.
jerk.
I told you.
I feel
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to cancel my HBO subscription because of that. Whack-ass
Stick
movie.
it to him. Stick it to HBO.
Independence Day Part 2. Get out of here.
Oh,
God.
That was really bad.
I don't think I've even thought about that.
That was
so
really
disappointing.
bad.
for that too.
No, we'll iron out this. We'll iron out the Discord stuff. There was a lot of feedback tonight. And it seriously sounded like somebody yelling into a CB radio. Like it was really breaker.
It was
I was like, what is going on here?
I know
But-
Trick said last night as soon as he saw it, he really enjoyed it. Him and the kids had a good time. And like again, I just want everybody to understand. Like I really did enjoy the movie. I'm gonna be probably a little bit more nitpicky about it than most folks. That's with this mythos specifically. So
20 more minutes, we can watch the new Falcon and Winter Soldier live on Banter Babble. 20 more
I thought
minutes.
it was at 3 a.m. that.
Yeah, I think it's at 3, isn't it?
Before we move to the closing, I gotta watch it one more time.
Yeah, it's great.
Look at that guy.
I don't know. We got Hardcore Justice this Saturday. I will make an appearance on that. My match. You can watch a movie on that.
Get him!
I actually got concussed in that match.
Did you?
Oh yeah, he got me in the car. I think strong.
He looks
here. Dude gets like 6 million views from India every time.
It's not that Jake's up and diet, just eats people.
Jake is
Jake eats Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Actually, he rotates. He'll go through Taco Bell's drive-through, eat, and then go back through.
and
Taco
put on
Bell.
fake nose and glasses. And then,
Hey, you like this chalupa over here? I asked. He did not like the fucking bacon chalupa. that
He
I was
called you out. He
making.
said you're full of shit, man.
Yeah, he was like, nah, I don't really feel like that. Well, fuck you.
You didn't say that.
Nah,
Joe.
because he'll eat me.
if you watch Impact Wrestling, we are moving April 8th.
Yeah,
we will no
to
longer be
fucking Thursday
nights. We will be on Access. There you can catch me talking a lot of shit, being sweet.
Or right here on Twitch. At
All right
8
here on
PM.
Twitch. That's
Right
correct.
here on
So
Twitch.
it'll be on Thursdays, and then we have a huge pay-per-view coming up April 25th. It will be Impact's World Champion Kenny Omega taking on Impact's World Champion Rich Swann taking on AEW's World Champion Kenny Omega. If you're not a wrestling fan, this is like a huge crossover moment for
Godzilla
professional
versus King
wrestling.
Kong.
It's Godzilla versus King Kong, pretty much. So it's a huge deal. Very special. I know there's a lot of fans that are, all you AEW neckbeards out there that don't like Impact Wrestling, and all you Impact diehards that don't like AEW.
Can't you just love both?
Exactly. It's like you are living in a great time for professional wrestling. I would dream of this, back in the day as a fan. So it's really something special. Kenny Omega is like one of the best wrestlers in the world. Rich Swann is a fantastic wrestler. I think he's one of the best in the world that's very underrated. And I think you're going to see something magical happen on April 25th. I don't know if I'm on the pay-per-view or not. We'll see. I hope I am, because I want to be on that card very, very badly. But if not, April 25th, you will be able to check it out on pay-per-view. And then this Saturday, like I was saying, on Impact Plus, our app, a lot of cool stuff on there. There will be Hardcore Justice. Every match, it's booked by Tommy Dreamer, so every match is going to have some type of no holds barred stipulation.
Ooh,
so
shit.
yeah.
Tommy Dreamer.
Well, I mean, if they want the views, they'll put you on that card.
If you want the views, you will put me on that card, but we'll see what happens. Top 5 shirt sales on Shop Impact right now, so that's pretty sweet.
Are you really?
Yeah, they never had one of my t-shirts, and then my boy Luke Bowersby from the UK, he's like, hey man, I see you don't have a t-shirt on there. Let's make you a design. I just want to get, my foot in the door with Impact. So I sent it to them. They're like, cool, we'll take this.
Is that the round one?
Yep,
that's the one you did the video on recently. Correct?
Yes,
yeah,
yep.
That shirt is dope.
Sold real well, so thanks to everybody that bought it. But if you want to put some actual money in my pocket, you'll go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Rohit, where I get more cut of that. I will get a cut of the Impact sales, but I'll get more of a cut. But it just makes me feel good because it shows Impact that I can make them money.
Yep.
And so that's a huge thing because if you can make them money, they're going to want to do more with you. So
think about that. There's people in parts of this flat Earth globe that have that's a joke. That have your shirt. Somebody in fucking France can be wearing your shirt right now. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, some of the followers I'll get I get a lot of from the UK.
Yeah, a lot of UK love.
So I honestly cannot wait till this pandemic is done.
You guys can.
I will be hitting up promoters in the UK, and I want to come over there and spend a week or two and just wrestle out there in the UK. So
and you know what, promoters, he needs somebody to help him schedule that stuff. So you give me some movie ticket money, and I'll come over there.
We're kind of promoters. I mean,
well,
look at Tricky.
Well, look, Trick's
was
like.
Also saying I was a big a fan of Rohit, been following him since I started hanging with B&B.
Thank you, exactly. And I actually did a podcast recently, and I did several of them. I can't remember which one it was that I mentioned you guys.
We appreciate that.
Babble. Yeah. I talked about you guys because they were talking about people that always give you support, and I was like, I don't have a lot of people that do when I first started, but I talked about you always supporting me since day one when we were working together. And a lot of people think of it as a pipe dream. I was putting in the work. All my paid time off was going towards wrestling. When I was working at GameStop, my day off would be training. I'd drive an hour to Davison and go train. And a lot of people said, "Oh, it's not going to work. It's a dream. It's like they call it a dream for a reason." I'm on TV every Tuesday now, doing what I love
and doing it fucking
wrestling
well.
for a company.
Doing it well.
I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll be able to make more money doing it. But
buy some fucking t-shirt.
So I don't have to do any side work. But that's the goal. But the fact that I held a main title with this company and had a great run. And I wrestle some of the people that I used to watch or, talk to them on a day-to-day basis or whatever is huge for me. So if you got dreams, follow them. These guys are doing this, bringing it to you now every Thursday. It's amazing. I mean, you have to do it. It's not going to come to you. You got to make it happen. You got to make the sacrifices. People are either going to support you or they're not. And I've lost, I don't want to say friendships, but my friendships aren't as close. But the people that do support me, they're still there, and even I don't say family members and stuff like that, but like those people, a lot of people they don't see it sometimes, and you just gotta have tunnel vision, focus, be kind of selfish, and just do it, and it'll happen sooner or later, no matter what you want to do. You gotta hustle for it,
and you'll find support.
You will.
Whether it's, you find that sometimes it might not be the closest circles you expect, but those outer ones that come in, they become close because they're there for you day in, day out and always supporting you.
Yeah, and that's truth. Like these guys are always constantly having me on here, hyping up my stuff. I love the fact that I try anytime they post something, I'll retweet it or I'll share it on Facebook, and I'm hoping I can get them some type of views. It's hard, but man, you just got to keep going, and I'm a late bloomer for me, but I make it work. And to be honest, there's no place I'd rather be than inside a professional wrestling ring. I don't like everything that goes on around it at times, but when I'm in the ring, I'm in my comfort zone.
Oh yeah,
I'm exactly where I want to be, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't watching him, you're missing out. He's entertaining as fuck. He's amazing in the ring. He's his charisma, his personality. He's just an awesome wrestler, you guys. Like, he's a performer. He's amazing. He commands the screen when he's out there. He's just that good. But we're also really lucky to call him our friend. He's always here to support us. We're always here to hang out with him. And man, we appreciate you being
I'll shake your hand now. You're wearing that Jake something t-shirt. You got to know when to turn it on. And half the time, it's not even off with me because I'm always out there styling and profiling like the Nature Boy, because that's what I try and do. I try and take that old school and I mix it with the new and make something out of yourself. I don't know if you Nimrods realize this, but I was made for TV. Made for TV. Absolute superstar.
Sure was.
He's jaw jacking, y'all.
Back to normal now. So.
Hey, what'd your mom call you?
She called me son.
Why?
Because I shine like one. And one of my favorites, one I did, I just pulled it out of my butt when I was doing this news thing. I was trying to think of things to say, and I said, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel.
That one's
not
dope.
you. He made me the sequel.
Made
right.
in the
You're like
staple.
the bad DVD, straight to DVD, straight to COVID. You know what? We're gonna have you on HBO Max. That's you.
Oh, he's savage. He's
Oh,
savage.
shit.
I'm on the big screen, baby.
Oh man, what did Tone's mom call him? Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap it up for Mr. Rohit Raju, Fanboy Tone, and the Dude79. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate everybody that was in the chat, that was a part of the conversation. We do this every week because we enjoy hanging out with you. We enjoy getting your thoughts on stuff. We love talking about pulp culture. We love having awesome guests on. And this is why we do our grind. He does his grind. We do our grind because we want to entertain. We appreciate all of you hanging out tonight. Hope everyone has a great week. Be safe. We'll be back next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. I have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about. There's plenty of stuff coming out, though. Falcon, obviously. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Invincible.
Bad Trip. We're going to be talking about Bad Trip on Netflix. Bad Trip.
Are we talking?
Yes, we're going to do that next week.
Okay,
we're
we're
going to
doing
talk
that
about
next
that because I know Cuddles wants to talk about it. But we'll have plenty of stuff in the Discord. We'll have a list of the stuff to watch. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.